Hi, Menno.
Hello, Tanya. How are you?
I'm good.
Very good.
How often are these meetings?
Once every 2 weeks at the moment. And then we're thinking about doing beginners and advanced.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will be once a week, but beginners 1 week and advanced another week. Yes. And what have you been up to? How have you been since the new year, since the day that I struggled to get internet, but still managed to run Cashflow?
We've been good. We went on a little holiday to Nara. Was it? Yeah.
Yes.
Which was good because there wasn't a lot of people there. Trying to keep social distancing. It was just good to get away, we had a long weekend. So yeah.
Amazing. Very good. I don't think I've been to most of the coastline, but I haven't been to Nowra, which is unusual. Because a lot of places I haven't been.
We usually tend to go to the Central Coast.
Yes.
But we felt that most people go that way, so it would have been a bit crowded. So I think it's called Huskisson. I think that's what it's called. It's a bay, Jervis Bay. It's part of Jervis Bay, so it's quite good. I mean, unfortunately, it was raining, but usually the sun is white, and the water is really blue and clear. But because of the rain, it wasn't clear, but it was still good.
That's good. And welcome, Joseph, as well. I think Joseph's just joined us.
Yeah, hey man, how are you going?
Very good. Nice to have you as well.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
No, you're very welcome. So let's have a look. We've got Mladen and we have, I think Daniel's also here. Is he on board? He's become Tanya. You might be sharing the same account. So I already know Tanya. Mladen's the one who created the game, the online version that we are playing today.
Fantastic.
So what?
Actually, sorry, yes. Daniel is my 6-year-old. Because he does Zoom on this computer, it changes to his name. That's why I changed it to my name.
Okay.
And I think some more people are joining. I think I saw Brett is joining just now. So we might see when Brett has arrived, we might do a quick introduction so everybody can get to know each other a little bit. So we'll just wait for Brett to connect to the audio. And then I'm looking forward to either getting to know you or, if I already know you, getting you to introduce yourself to everybody else, which is probably good. Sometimes the audio takes a little bit of time to connect, which is okay. That happens. Internet is fun sometimes. So we'll do the introduction, and then I'll go through and explain the rules of Cashflow. And then I'll see if I can find out what level you're all at. And we'll do a little bit of an education section. We used to do that at the end, but I think it's probably going to be better. Mladen, who created the online version, came up with the idea of maybe doing it a little bit earlier when everybody's a little bit less tired, perhaps, after playing the game for a while. And then we will get into the game and finish off with a debrief, and throughout the game learn a lot of really, really good things. And welcome, Brett.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Wonderful. How you doing?
I can turn my volume up a little bit higher, and then I can hear you even better, but I can already hear you, so that's okay.
It's not too loud in the background here, is it?
Can't hear anything in your background, so we are all good.
Perfect.
So we are all good, all good. So we're just waiting for you to be able to get the audio set up, and then we'll go around and we'll get everybody to introduce themselves before I talk about the rules of the game and show you what it looks like and how it works. It's very similar to the standard Rich Dad Poor Dad, just slightly different and slightly more realistic, which is really good. Sorry, did you say something, Joseph?
No, I didn't. No.
Must have picked up some background noise. I can see when the squares go green around them, and then I know that there's been some kind of sound coming from that side. All good.
Oh,
all
okay.
good. It happens. I've been doing Zoom for a long time, so I just pick up on that little green square popping up, and I think somebody might have wanted to share something.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah.
let me change my view a little bit so that I can open up the gallery view and see who is here. And then we might start with Tanya, since she has played before and I've known her for a while. Let's see if she's still there, because she's on mute right now. Yes, she is. Perfect. Would you like to start us off with the introduction and telling everybody a little bit about yourself? That went the wrong way.
Okay, my name is Tanya. I don't know how long I know you for. I can't even.
It was probably about 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Probably a bit longer. Yeah.
Longer.
So we used to play Cashflow, but the old way. And we used to meet at the McDonald's. I remember that. So yeah.
Yes, so we used to organize a investment club together, and then we'd get together and first we'd play a bit of cash flow, and then we'd talk about investing. We'd learn about investing and put a little bit of money together in order to be able to start investing on the stock market, which was really good. And then you had to go off to the US, and a couple of other things happened. But yes, it was really good, and we all learned a lot.
Yeah, and I think someone was asking in the last meeting, because I see different people today. In the last session, someone was asking to do something similar to what we were doing back then.
Yes. Do you remember who it was? Was it hang on a minute. It was Hammy was there and Faye was there. I can't remember who asked. Or was it Tristan maybe?
No, it was a girl, one of the girls that she was just saying that.
Manel. Wow, I still remember everybody that turned up that day. That's amazing.
Yeah, yes. That is amazing.
So we will definitely look at putting that together again. We actually had some mastermind groups already set up, so we can do that around investing and different other topics. So it could be real estate, it could be stock market, it could be business, different topics. Yeah. So we are looking at putting that together for this year. So watch this space. And
I think that from that, it was born the idea that, you know, we're not all at the same level. So it was born the idea of having a beginners and a more advanced. That way, you know, we all feel inclusive and we can just go into the section that we feel that we're most fitted. And we can also, you know, if you're an advanced, you can also, if you want a refresher, you can always join the beginners class as well. So there's no restrictions.
Absolutely. So it's always good to be in a group and be able to have different people that can hold you accountable, learn together, practice together, and actually implement, as opposed to just having these wonderful ideas and not really doing anything about it, which is one of my pet peeves. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Joseph, would you like to go next so we can get to know you a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Yes. I'm Joseph. I'm 29. I'm based in Sydney. At the moment, I work in shipping, and yeah, I'm on board this to help improve my financial game, hopefully.
When you say on board, does that mean that you're also on board a ship at the moment, or was that just automatic shipping speak?
No, so when I meant shipping, I use shipping because it creates less confusion as opposed to when I say freight forwarding, which is what I really.
Yes.
Yeah, but unfortunately, too many people when I say freight forwarding, they go, "Huh? What was that now?" Almost like a foreign language. So basically, I ship cargo. I'm in air freight operations.
Yes.
I deal with all the airlines and things like that in moving cargo in and out of Australia for the company that I work for.
Makes sense. I was really enjoying that pun. But all good. Thanks for clearing that one up. Good to meet you, and look forward to staying in touch and getting to know you a little bit more over time. And
likewise.
Over to you, Brett.
How you doing, guys? Can I hear me? Yep. I'm going to say I'm a refugee from WA. I'm actually originally from Sydney, but I came back in June for a month holiday and then got stuck here. I was mining, WA, mining gold, diamonds, digging shit up out of the ground, and started investing, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, I suppose. Actually, the book, Robert Kiyosaki's Cashflow Quadrant,
Yes.
changed my life. It took me a while to get, because I hate reading, but once I got to some point in the book, I just it blew my mind that I hadn't read this before. And I'm like, I've got the book, I've got the board game. Actually, I've got 2 board games. I've got one in Bali where, I started buying silver, I've done real estate, stock, enjoying it. I'm here just to keep talking and meeting other people who want to do it, really.
Perfect. So I'm glad that you managed to keep reading, which is really good. Because obviously, if you would have said, I hate reading and I'm going to stop now before you got there, then, that would have been a bit of a shame and you probably wouldn't be where you are right now.
Absolutely not.
So what kind of investing do you do?
Look, I've got everything. I've got gold and silver, I've got crypto, real estate. I did a little bit of stock, but it just annoyed me. So if I'm going to do stock, I'm going to kind of move towards maybe just dividend stock and holding long time and long-term low yield and that kind of thing, because it was just giving me the shits. I've done a bit of I've done a bit of everything because I just wanted to learn it all. Forex trading, I've done.
It's a good way to find out what you like and what you're good at, and tabs of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how about you, Joseph? So you do the freight forwarding. Do you do anything else, or is that your main gig?
No, that's my main thing, unfortunately for me, because I'm only expecting my permanent residency in Australia this year. I was invited earlier last year, so that was pretty big for me. But obviously, because of the COVID restrictions, we weren't allowed to do our medicals last year. I only did that in November, and I'm awaiting that this year. So I'm sort of starting out on this. I mean, I attended a conference the other day for real estate. So now I'm hoping to sort of get the wheels going so I can, get going down one of these lines really well. I don't know where that's going to be, whether that's real estate or stocks or Forex or crypto. I'm not sure. I'm just giving everything a go because, like you said, you never know what you really want to do until you give it a try.
That's true. Absolutely.
Well, everything.
Everything. No, that's it, man. Everything. Just give it a go. You won't know. There's no point reading and just making a decision on that. I suppose it's always advisable to sort of give it a go and then see where that takes you.
Absolutely. So when I was younger, I was very lucky. My parents let me play every sport. And so I was able to find out the ones that I was good at, the ones that I was not so good at, the ones that I was good at but didn't enjoy, the ones that I was good at but did enjoy, and the ones that I just couldn't stand. But that's what you need to do in life, because life is all about testing different scenarios, testing different things, and seeing what sticks, seeing what works. And then from there, you're going to have more success than if you're swimming upstream, doing something that you don't like, that doesn't inspire you, that doesn't interest you, but that people tell you should be doing. And that's pet peeve probably number 2, of when people just follow the masses to do something that they feel that they should do rather than something that inspires them and will bring them success.
True, very true.
Okay, so Mladen sent me a message that he had a phone call come through. He usually does the back end. So as long as the technology behaves itself, we should be good. Sometimes technology just doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. Generally speaking, that usually happens for me. It doesn't happen for Mladen. He's a technology expert. I am a user of technology. We'll leave it at that. But we should be able to get started without any issues. Ethel is my VA, so she's probably been in touch with most of you, and she will be keeping a back-end eye on everything from my side. Mladen will be keeping an eye on the game side. and then we can get started. I'll start sharing my screen, and then I'll show you what we have on offer. So that is the screen I need to share. So can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
It might take 1 or 2 seconds, but hopefully you should be able to. So you'll notice that I have my name and password already typed into the Cashflow simulator. I'm just going to copy and paste that link so that you're able to also get access to it, for which I then have to stop sharing. That's a little bit annoying. I was hoping to do it in one go. I'll copy and paste that in first, and then I'll start sharing again. The one limitation that Zoom has when I'm in that mode is that it's difficult to then share. Okay, we'll go back to screen sharing. So that gives you the website that you need. I'll go back to screen sharing. So I already have access, obviously, which is why I'm at the top. So if you are playing for the first time, you'll need to go to the bottom where it says or, and then I'll get you to put in your first name, last name, email, and choose a user ID. And then you can register, and it will let you in. If you have any issues, we are hoping that Mladen will be able to help out, but we should be able to get you in quite easily. If you've already logged in, you should, I believe, still have access. Otherwise, you can also register down the bottom to be able to get in. I'll start signing in, and let me know how you go. And we'll see if we need to sort you out with anything.
But what is the password? Do we have to remember the same password last time?
So it should be the same password, yes. If you've already been in, obviously, if you are new, you can just create your password. Do you still remember your password?
I thought you get I thought every time you log in, you get a different access.
No, you should be able to access through the same one. If you don't remember the password, we can either wait for Mladen to come back and we can fix that one up, or we might just need you to register again, and then you'll be able to access for today, and then we'll see if we can get you your password sorted.
Okay, Mladen here. I'm back. Tanya, you were played before, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody else succeeding with the registration?
I've done so, but it says temporary access will be given during a scheduled organized time by one of your meetup or other group. Is that right?
So I will pass that over to Mladen. It should be able to let you in. If not, Mladen will be able to fix that for you. And how about you, Brett?
Tanya, can you please just send me your
email now?
Tanya, can you please send me your ID in the chat?
Yeah, just one moment. I got a little book. I'm just trying to see if what I took notes last time. So let me just give me a second to see if I wrote it there.
Well, I don't see you on the list.
It's Tanya P. Tania P.
So just wait for everybody to be able to get access, and then I'll go through the rules. And while you're doing that, who has played Cashflow before? So I know Brett owns a couple. I know Tanya's definitely played. How about you, Joseph?
No, I haven't. I haven't played that.
Okay, so you'll be a little bit in the deep end, but that's okay. That's a really good place to learn from. And how about you, Brett? You've got 2 copies of the game. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joseph.
Yeah. No, not at all. No. I'll take it all in. I'll take it all in.
All good, all good. And how about you, Brett? So you own two versions of the game, but have you played before?
I have played Cashflow, well, not this Cashflow simulator, but I've played the board game many times.
So you'll find that this one is slightly different. And I think you're going to get a lot out of it. It's a little bit more realistic than just the board game. So it's like a step up again.
Yeah.
And this one is really good for transitioning more to real life and being able to catch yourself on things that you might have forgotten or that you're not paying attention to in real life as well. And we're looking to build even more in. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you think as an investor.
How often do you play?
Tanya, you should be able to log in now. Try.
So is it like the Cashflow?
Is that the
201 or
password? Hang on.
No, I don't give password. You use password you used before. I just enable your login.
Okay, cool.
Okay, sorry, Brett, go ahead.
I was going to say, is it a bit like, is it, you know how there's Cashflow 201 or something like that, which is is it a bit like that? Because I haven't played that. I've got it, but I haven't played it.
It's a little bit even beyond that.
Oh, right.
So
Cool.
we used to have an options expert who was my mentor back in my cafe days when I used to own a cafe. And he's an options expert. And he thought it was a little bit basic. So we never really played 202 very often, which was very interesting. But we're looking to add more of that with more realism in, as opposed to the very, very basic version that Robert Kiyosaki has in 202. So we're looking to add it in with some improvements already, which will be
Cards that are coming up are based on Cashflow 101 with additional material. You will see what is it. And in the future, will be able all versions available. So Cashflow 202 will come up.
Yes.
So I'm in now.
Okay, perfect.
Pick random.
Sorry,
no.
mine is asking me for a password.
Yeah.
I can see if I can reset the password.
So we'll let Mladen help you with that one. Brett is in. How are you going, Joseph?
It still says the same thing. Temporary access will be given during scheduled organized time by one of Meetup or some other group.
Does it say underneath that to check your email? Because I heard the same thing.
Yeah, it gave me a temporary password. I've been trying to use that to log in, but it keeps saying the same thing about the temporary access.
No, you should be able to log in.
Okay, let me try again now. Nope, says the same thing. Let me...
Then I will also leave that with Mladen to help you out with it. So we know that Brett's in, Tanya and Joseph are working on it. Tanya already knows how to play anyhow. So for Brett and for Joseph, as you are still getting in, or once you're already in, I'm going to quickly go through and show you the basics of the game here. So you're going to start on this page, which is where Brett was just then. And we are going to start you on random. So you can click random when you are on that profession page. The thing I will show you very quickly is that you can actually fill in your real life numbers in order to be able to play from your own position. And there's an important reason for this. We used to have a lady that came and said that she could never buy real estate. And she was adamant. She was convinced she would never be able to buy real estate. And then I got her to play with the real life numbers, and she started to see that there were a couple of things that were possible. And then eventually she came up and said, oh, I found a way to increase my income. I've been able to buy my first real estate. And then she bought her second property, and now she's looking for a third property. So that was very exciting, because when you're playing, these professions that you can see are very distant to what you have yourself in real life. So it might be easy for the airline pilot to do that because he has higher income. It might be easier to get out of the rat race as the janitor because the janitor has lower expenses. So if you're playing with your own numbers, it makes it a lot easier to actually visualize what's possible for you. But we'll leave that for the more advanced version. We're just going to start playing with a random profession today, because otherwise it would just take too much time to get everything filled in. We'll get to the point where we're going to get everybody to prepare their numbers so that you can play that version in the advanced version. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hit random. which starts my game again, because you can actually save the game that you were playing, but I'm going to refresh so I'm starting at the same position as everybody else. So we've got the tabs at the top. We've got profession, the playboard, which what you can see on my screen right now. We've got bank, which has a couple of different things where you can repay, pay another player, transfer, withdraw funds, etc. We've got some reports. And so I'll go through these a little bit later. The tools as well. I'll go through those a little bit later when we've been playing for a little bit longer. Same with market and settings. And I'll show you everything else that is interesting throughout. So we've done the profession. The next thing that we want to have a look at is the central piece here. So you'll know that if you play Cashflow, and I have them just over here, and we'll have to see if I can do it so you can actually see them. We've got the playing cards. And so those playing cards, you are able to get those by hitting select card.
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes a little bit of time for mine sometimes. And I would be able to pay my charity, for example. I'm going to select again. And this one is a blue one, which is a chance to sell something. And I will see if I can. No, there want to be different cards to what I want to show you. Sometimes
okay,
sorry?
I've managed to get myself in.
Perfect.
I'm in now.
Welcome, welcome. And hopefully Tanya is going well as well.
Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so if you hit select card and then there is some text at the bottom asking you to select again, you'll see that either the 5,000 or the 6,000 button are illuminated. And then you can choose either a 5,000 card for a deal that costs less than $5,000, or you can choose a 6,000 card for a bigger deal. Just ignore the 100,000 plus deals for now. They will be much too big probably for this game today. So depending on how much money you have, you can either buy a deal that you know will cost less than 5,000, or you can buy one that will cost upwards from 6,000. So we have the buy and sell buttons, and pay if you need to pay something such as random expenses or family vacations or different other things that you might have come up throughout the game. So this is the portal that will allow you to select cards and play. And then it's up to you what you decide to do with the card. I'll explain more if you have any questions throughout the game. And then if you want to know more about how much money you have and what you have available. So if you want to know more about how much income and expenses you have that up here on your top left in the cash flow statement. If you also go to statements, you can see not only your income and your expenses here on the left in green, but you can also see your assets and your liabilities of where you are starting out from.
Beautiful.
You also have your cash ledger, which will show you everything that you have been doing cash-wise throughout the game. So every time you spend cash, every time you receive cash, and it will give you a very detailed account. Don't worry about performance and scoreboard for now. We'll have a look at those a little bit later as well. So we'll go back to the playboard. And then at the very bottom of the screen, you'll also see everything that you own with a little bit more information around it. So you'll see the value, how much loan you've taken out, what the investment was. You'll be able to see your interest rate, how long that is going to go for, your loan to value ratio, the LVR. You can see your income, your expenses, your cash flow, the return on investments. And interestingly, you'll also see the months in possession. So the game will actually track how many paychecks you've received, and it will count time. So you'll know how long you've owned a certain piece of real estate or how long you've owned a certain number of shares. And what the game will do is, rather than allowing you to sell something for a very high price without paying capital gains tax, it will charge you capital gains tax and all other taxes. If you own something for more than 12 months, you will only pay 50% of the capital gain in tax.
Capital gains,
Whereas if you own it for less than 12 months, it will charge you over the full capital gain, so you'll pay more taxes. So a little bit more realistic. You'll also notice in the cards, if you select a card and you get a real estate deal, of which I might be able to get one right now. So let's say I choose an under $5,000 deal. I get a stock deal instead though. But you'll notice that the information on the card is a little bit more detailed than in the game itself, because we want you to be able to get a feel for the income of the property, the expenses of the property, how much the down payment is. And I'll also show you a little bit more about what is possible on those cards down payment wise. And we'll have a chat about that as well. So that is the basics to being able to start playing. The only other thing we'll need to do is we'll need to make sure that we're all in the same room so we can play together. So you'll notice under the two little coin piles, there's a little button room. If you hit the room button, then I'm going to create a room, which we'll call room 1. And I'll create that. So you can then select room 1, and then you'll be able to come in and join me in here. Does anybody have any questions?
No, not at the moment.
Yeah.
Not yet. Okay, so I can see Brett is in, Tanya's in. So, and there we go. And Joseph is in as well. Okay, so we're starting with me. I've received my first payday, and I have some stock on Tue18th Company. Today's price is $10. The trading range is $10 to $30. Now, one thing that you may notice is that the buy button will be open for you. So I'm going to hit buy. I will buy a little bit of these. Don't worry about the performance indicators just yet. We'll talk about those later on as well. I can see how much available cash I have at the top here. Let's see. I'll decide that I want to buy 100 shares. Yeah, we'll buy 100 shares. I'm going to hit buy. You can also borrow if you need to borrow money for those. And you can also hit the sell button at any time to see what you own. And if you don't own that particular asset, it will say no assets available, so that you don't have to worry about whether you do own the right one or don't own the right one. The system will automatically know, so that you can't be confused. Okay, so as long as you are in and you've hit buy, if I hit done, it will still allow you to complete your transaction. So I'm going to hit done, and then that will pass over to you, Brett.
Okay. So select card.
Fingers crossed you get a good one.
Condor, yeah, okay, 2 by 1. 5,000 down. Cash flow, 157. Buy. So if I want to buy this, I buy, hit the buy button.
Yes, if you would like to buy that one, you hit the buy button.
So you can either buy or skip and not do anything with your capital, is that right?
Correct. So any of the green cards, you get to choose if you'd like to buy them or not. Any of the purple cards, which are called doodad cards, we'll talk about those when one of those.
Yeah,
and the blue
right. So we've got a
also choose.
2-bedder, 1-bathroom condo.
So where's my, just so I can my savings, so I know I've got enough savings. Is that what I'm looking for to make sure I've got the deposit?
So when you hit buy, you'll have the amount of cash that you have.
Okay.
Right. And you'll be able to see whether you have enough cash or not. If you would like to borrow, you can borrow in increments of thousands. So you round up.
Okay. Available cash up the top. Yep. Cool. Wonderful. So buy that.
Ladan has worked hard on the UX to make sure that it is very user-friendly and very intuitive, hopefully.
Did I buy that if I bought it, or press buy again?
So you should be able to then hit the buy button.
Yep. And then, oh no, so my cash is gone.
Yes. So your cash will be gone.
Yep.
And you will see your asset at the bottom as an extra house. That is now on your list of assets. Live.
Oh, yeah. Right down the bottom. Yep, cool.
Correct.
Cool. Okay, yep. Monthly income. Cool.
Perfect.
Now I go done. All right. Cool.
Okay, over to you, Tanya.
What's happening here for Tanya? Let's see.
I think Tanya's still there. She might have quickly gone to the bathroom, perhaps.
I like how this is laid out, though, Benno. It's really nice. It's got what you need to know down the bottom with your finances, but it's got your target set as your milestones on the right, which is nice. Yeah.
So kudos to Mlada.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yes.
But I did press the card, but nothing came up.
So are the 5,000 and 6,000 buttons purple?
Yeah, it was purple, and I click on, but it didn't take me anywhere.
See if you can click on the 5,000 and 6,000 again, whichever one you choose.
Yeah.
And it should open up.
Okay. All right.
So yes, Mlada's done a good job of making it very intuitive. It looks very different to the first version that we created about a year and a half ago. Very different, a lot.
So
There we go.
payday plus stock. So is this stock that I get, or I have to purchase it?
You can buy or sell. I don't think any of us have okay for you. I'm actually sure.
All right. So today's price is $30, but it can range between 5 and 40. So I'm not gonna buy any. Is anybody interested in purchasing?
Nope.
So I'm okay, but thank you for the offer.
I'm just gonna go down then.
Sounds like a good saleswoman looking for suckers.
So do I press select card now?
Nice to Eskimos.
Select a card, or yeah. So I'm just going to press select card. Yeah. Okay.
And if
Selected.
nothing's happened, but the 5,000 and 6,000 buttons are purple, then you can select one of those, depending on how much money you have.
Oh, okay. So yeah, obviously less than 5,000 deal. Okay, 10 acres raw land. All right. Okay. Wonderful park.
So feel free to read the card out if you like. That way everybody can hear what the card is and follow.
Okay, 10 acres of raw land. It's a wonderful park-like setting with stream on 10 acres in underdeveloped area. No roads, no utilities, no noise. One sec. Use this yourself or sell to another player. 0% return on investment. Possible future sale at, don't know, cost 5,000. Down pay 5,000. Yeah, but I haven't got 5,000. So
Yeah, what you'd like to do. So these aren't compulsory, so it's up to you if you'd like to.
Yeah. I don't have the option of obviously selling it here, so I've just got to, I presume, sell card just down at the bottom. Is that right?
Good. There is a button sell to another player on the bottom right if you wanted to. It would depend on if anybody still had some cash. I'm a little bit lower on cash. I'd be interested, but I think I'm okay for now.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with this. I want to skip.
Then you can.
Yeah,
and then hopefully get another deal that you can buy next time.
Of course. So what do I do if I want to skip? Do I just press done at the top or?
Press done, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, back to me. Okay, house buyer, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I also got a payday. You're offered 100,000 for a 3-2 rental condo. Buyer's own financing. Everybody may sell at this price. Obviously, if you sell, you pay off the related mortgage and give up cash flow you currently receive on this property. I know that there is one condo in the game, but I think that's a 2-1. Also, it would still not be more than 12 months in your ownership, Brett. So you'd also think about your capital gains.
Yeah.
And you can hit the sell button just to see for the fun of it whether it's the same one or not. You don't have to sell, but you can actually check to see whether it's the correct one.
Yeah, right.
And then up to you if you'd like to sell it. If
List
it is,
of
and if
available-
not,
yeah. No. List of availables, none.
then it's obviously not the same one that you bought. So that makes it a lot easier than the arguments we used to have when we were playing the board game. Oh, but that's the same one that I have. No, it's not. So this makes it easy to know exactly whether it's the right one or not.
Cool.
And then we'll say done and pass that on.
Righto, select card. Payday. All right, done. Quick and easy.
Okay.
Okay, over to you, Tanya.
Wow, I get a payday again.
Payday is always good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So I'm not gonna buy. I think the stock is too pricey.
I'm also good, but thank you for the offer.
Anybody
Yep.
else?
No, I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good.
Thank you. Select card. Payday plus demand for bed and breakfast. Oh, fantastic.
That would probably be nice, but I don't think any of us has one. So sometimes at the beginning, obviously, we just have to cycle through a couple of cards.
Yeah. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. Oh, wait, hang on. $1,000 today.
Okay, then I think we can say done. That doesn't really
Yeah.
apply to anybody anyhow.
Yeah. Done.
Okay, perfect. So, Plex buyer. I know that nobody has any Plexes, but in this case, it would be 30,000 per unit. So if you have a duplex, obviously that would be 60,000. If you have a fourplex, it'd be 120,000, etc., etc. Everybody can sell. So if you did have some, you'd be able to hit sell and see which ones you have. But nobody has any of those yet, so we'll just move on.
Is there a section that tells us how long we've been playing? Is it like every click is a month or something? How does that work?
So there are two places you can see that. So if you have a look at my screen quickly, you'll see that I have stock onto you at the bottom of the screen and months in possession 0. So that means that I've played less than a month. The other place you can see it is
Right. Yep.
and if I go to, let's see, the bookkeeping and general journal, it will also show me the progression of time with details of every single thing that I've done throughout the game. And you'll see that I started on the 1st, 2022, and we're now the 20th of the 1st, 2022. So we still haven't played a full month yet, but that's how you can see where you're up to in time relation.
Wonderful. Okay, so I've got a 3x2, nice house available. Capital layoffs. Cost 50,000. Down payment 4,000.
Yes.
Low 46. Okay, another good cash flow. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, I'll take that as well.
All right.
I have the cash. I'm going to buy it because I'm a doctor and I can. That mean I'm done. If anyone's got any ailments, just let me know. But I will be out checking out my real estate. So don't call me right now. Done.
Perfect. Over to you, Tanya. Oh dear, that's not a good. That's not a good one. So very quickly, as Tanya is figuring out that she has lost her job, the downsize works slightly differently here as well, which is also more realistic. So in the game, you lose 2 turns, which means that you can't do anything during that time, and you have to pay your total expenses. In real life, obviously, you can still do deals. So we don't actually penalize you 2 turns. You can still have your turns. You pay your expenses. You lose your earned income, but if you have passive income, you still receive your passive income. So just like in real life, if you were to lose your job, if you have passive income, you would still have some income offsetting those expenses. It might not be enough to cover, but you would at least not be paying as much as you would be otherwise.
Otherwise, fair enough. Okay.
So
in this case,
sorry,
I can see here that on my cash flow statement, all my money has gone.
yes,
And I'm in the total expenses in the minus
yes,
because my expenses are 6,706. But in my in the bottom where I have my assets and liabilities, income and expenses, I have cash of 10,453, which I can still use to continue investing, right?
you can.
Well, I really have to leave 6,706 for my expenses. So I only have like 4,000, around $3 something thousand available.
Yes. If you had passive income, it'd be a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Not yet. Okay, over to Joseph.
Ooh,
Ooh,
lady business.
a big deal.
Look at that, baby. Look at that.
Okay.
What are you going to do with this one? You have 20,000 for the down payment.
Okay, so when you say 20,000 for the down payment, I'm only looking at my my earned income, right? So that's my top left. I can't look at what I've got down in assets for
You can. So if you hit the buy button, it will show you how much cash you have on the top right, next to the buy button on the second page.
Yeah, available cash is like just above, whatever, $3,000. So obviously not. So I will have to done.
You might have
Yeah.
a little bit more than
So
you
is any?
can right now.
Sorry.
You might have bitten off a little bit more than you can chew right now.
Right now, yeah, no, definitely. So I'll just so obviously can't sell this to anyone, right? So I'm just gonna click done.
So I'm a little bit right now. I would potentially buy it. I'm not sure if Brett is interested, but he's been buying up lots of stuff, so he might be a little bit stretched.
Haven't got the cash. Yeah, I haven't got the cash. No.
All right. So done it is then.
And Tanya's just lost her job, so she sounds like
she's definitely out. Yeah.
She might surprise us, but who knows?
We're not playing each other. We're playing ourselves.
Absolutely, we are.
That is it. All right. I'm going to click done.
Okay.
Done. All right. No.
Back over to me. And I get a payday, which is always very welcome. I would love to have more than that, but I'll take the payday. Some people get paydays and like, you can give it to me if you don't like it.
So weak market, MY24U, price $10. Okay,
There's no dividend.
Market, so I will buy some of this. Electronics, I'm always into electronics.
Guys, one comment from me. When you want to buy an opportunity, there is one that says more than 100,000 K. Those cards are coming up from Fast Track, Dreams and Businesses.
Yep.
So if you have that money, go for it.
Okay.
Yes. So for those of you who haven't played the game before, it's the cards from the outside. So yeah, when you have more than 100,000, then you can start having a look into some of those. Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Cool. Done.
Okay, perfect. Over to you, Tanya.
I'm going into my more income like. Oh, how come I'm getting a payday?
So you will still get your paydays, but you won't be paid for them because it needs to count how many paydays you pass. So you will not receive your payday for 2 turns. So you will notice that you are still on 0 most probably, unless you've already passed your 2. But it's
I
still
just no this will be my first one. But the thing is, my cash checking account, it went from 9,000 to 2,000. Is it because all my expenses were taken out?
Your expenses would have been taken out. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, bummer.
So
Anybody wants to buy
you have to
stocks?
write everything down. Here, the computer will do it automatically. So if in the game you were cheating and you were pretending you didn't have your expenses, this game will allow you to do that.
All right.
Okay.
So my direct debits, I guess, just like in real life.
You sound disappointed.
Correct.
Just like a real life.
Just like
Anybody's interested in buying the Untitled Entertainment stock?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I am good, but thank you.
Condo for sale.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I don't have that down payment amount. Anybody interested?
Nah.
No, I'm good.
Probably won't have for food soon.
But thank you.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if I can get something more than just a paycheck this time. This is looking good. Here we go. 3-2 house.
Oh, nice.
I like 3 houses. 3,000 down, 97 cash flow. I will say yes to that one.
Damn it.
Now, I'll show you something else as well. So on my screen, you can see that the down payment is 3,000. Now, what we have done is, in real life, if you are a very trustworthy person for the bank, you can actually have a lower down payment amount. So if I hit 0 and hit update, it will show the minimum payment that I need to make. So before it was 3,000, now it's 2,500. So
what did you have to press again? Sorry.
So I just hit 0 in here and update.
This is right. So this is when you're buying. Yeah.
Correct. So it will automatically show me if I hit 0 what the minimum down payment is. So I can reduce my down payment by 500. So I can use 500 for something else. Now I currently don't have enough cash. As you can see, I have it in other accounts. So I'm going to temporarily borrow a bit of money. So I'm going to temporarily borrow 3,000 at 10%. Now, the other thing that we've done is we have fixed up the borrowing percentage. So when you borrow money in the game, it used to be 10% per month. We've actually split that over 12 months. So it is only 10% per month as opposed to over the whole year. And so now I need to go back and put 0 again, because when I borrowed, it has therefore changed it back to the original down payment. So I'm going to buy that one. And then before I finish that one, I'll quickly show you. So I have borrowed some money. If I go to transfer, you'll notice that I actually have separate accounts. So I have a savings account, I have an investing account, I have a charity account, and I have a trading account. Lots of goodies.
That's how you
the way in which you can also create those for yourself is you can go to preferences in the settings, and you can pay yourself first. So you can choose how much you want to put into each of those accounts. You hit save. Also separate your income. Every time your money comes in, it will automatically transfer it to the different accounts so that you can keep an eye on how much you want to save for savings that you can keep for emergencies. You can set some money aside for your investing. that won't show up when you go to actually purchase something, so that you won't even know that you have it, and it will keep accumulating. It's amazing how fast that accumulates. You can also tithe, so you can automatically donate 10% to charity every month if you want to. We might have a talk about that later. So I'm going to write that down. And then we can have a chat about that. So if you'd like to do that, you can. It's up to you if you'd like to separate those out. So I'm going to have to quickly transfer some money. You can watch me as I do that on my screen. I'll hit done for now, and then we can keep going, and you can watch me transfer some funds if you'd like to.
I just have a question.
Yes, of course.
So all the transactions that you did, which I have to go into Zoom to look at it.
Yes.
But is that possible in the game? But is that something that you can do in real life? Because one of the struggles on buying is not that we can't afford the mortgage, but it's just having that down payment. So, the down payment is so unrealistic. So how does that differ from real life to actually being able to do it?
That is a very good question. And can you do it in real life? Yes. Is it easy? No. So if you have a super deal that you found, if you are able to prove that you have extremely good credit, if you have a good relationship with the bank, then you can negotiate. It also depends on the kind of market that you're in. So if you're in the kind of market where, let's say that it is a buyer's market and the buyers have more leverage, then you can have more of a chat to the bank. If it's more of a seller's market, then the bank would probably be less likely to entertain the idea. So it's going to depend on a number of different factors. If you are a wholesale investor, you have more chances because the bank knows that you're purchasing the property under the market value. If you are a retail investor and you are purchasing at market value, then it is again more challenging because you are together with everybody else and the bank will evaluate your riskiness.
Okay, but and you have to, like, you know what I mean? Obviously, if you wanted to do it for investment, you are required to have the 20%. Is that the percentage?
Correct.
So you can only negotiate these if you were to live in the property.
So even not if you were living in the property, it's going to depend on your credit score and your ability to show how good of an investor you are. So the bank is going to rate you. And if they think that the deal is better than normal, they might entertain the idea. And what we're planning to do is we're actually going to start looking at your credit score and putting parameters into the game so that you either qualify or don't qualify to be able to get a lower down payment. So if you qualify, you can. If you don't qualify, similar to real life, you wouldn't be able to get the lower down payment. For now, it's just set so that you can. So if you want to, you can play around with it and see what the difference is. But eventually, we're going to have a credit system around it so that you can actually qualify or not qualify for it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. All in the name of adding a little bit more realism so you can see what actually happens in real life. And that's one of the things that can happen. Definitely not saying that it is easy or that you would automatically qualify for it, but it is something that you can think about, that it's something that you might be able to aim for.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, over to you, Brett.
All right, let's click it on. Stop
By the way, did that
you.
answer your question, Tanya?
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, here we go. This one's a good deal. Market panics. Okay, for you, $1. I'm definitely going to be buying that. If anyone, does anyone else want to buy?
I have deferred repaying my bank loan and have bought those instead.
Should I buy 2,000? 2,000. Buy that. That is a damn good buy. Done.
Beautiful. And
I wish it was this easy in life.
oh, more stocks.
Ooh.
Mm. All right, I'm just gonna buy some.
No, of course. Go ahead.
What's a growth for US fund? What's inside? Because I mean, the price is fine, but what are we investing in here?
So we are investing into a mutual fund and
Yeah.
a group of shares. Which ones we don't know. So later on, I'll show you this market section and what we plan to do there. This is still a very basic version of stocks. We are looking at putting historic numbers and some news so that you can actually predict whether it will go up or down based on a number of different criteria from the past. So you'll be able to see a little bit of the graph. You'll be able to see some information about what's been happening to the company, and then make your decision based on that, not just on a card that says weak earnings by most companies lead to weak price of mutual fund. So it'll be much more realistic that you'll actually be able to predict to a certain degree or guess, if you were, which direction the stock will actually go. And then you'll go,
that's right.
And again, see whether you can figure out whether it will go up further or go down, rather than just random cards giving you random prices.
Yeah,
Okay.
right, okay.
That takes a little bit more time to get that all set up. So that's happening in the background. But
So I'm broke.
you are broke. Oh,
I'm not bad laughing at you.
I did have around just under $3,000, but then I'm guessing that my $6,000 for the expenses kicked in because my shares was only $200. So now I'm in a minus 4,160. So I cannot buy any of this share even if I wanted to.
So minus in cash.
Minus in cash, my checking account is at the minus 4,160 because I didn't get 2 paychecks and my expenses were around just under 7,000. So I'm guessing that my expenses are is it per month? So it's been another month, 2 paychecks. I didn't have enough cash to cover that because I only have $10,000 and it was almost 13,000.
So that is a very good learning. And I know that you love to learn because you always ask very good questions. Does your earned income say a number again, or is it still on 0?
No, now my earned income is 13,200.
Okay, so I am.
But because this is the second, because this is my second not payday. So after I get the next payday, I will have money again.
Yes. So the game hasn't kicked you out and said you are totally bankrupt yet. So keep playing. Let's see if we can turn that around. But it's a good learning to see what can happen when you follow certain strategies. So I'm looking forward to what you got out.
I'm guessing that I didn't have enough savings to cover my expenses because my expenses were like, I'm just going to round it out to 6,000, but I only have 10,000 in savings, and I've been paying my expenses out of my savings. So that means that if I lose my job, I can easily, spiral out of in debt because right now I'm going to wait for my income again. But out of that income, I already owe 4,160. Plus, I'm going to have another $6,000 of expenses. So that's just there. It's $10,000 of my income, and I'm earning 13,200. So I really need to start, that 3,200 a month additional after I have my expenses. I just need to be more careful how I save it or not to go crazy in spending in things that I don't need.
I would say so for sure. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to share in the debrief about that. I think Mladen has put up his hand. He'd like to share something as well.
Yes. What we have in a board game is that winner is one who gets first out of a red race, or actually out of fast track. Now, this is you can think it's a little bit different. It's educational package, educational software. So while you're playing, if you follow certain strategy and you see that you are now in negative and you are in a bad situation, so you can see, okay, this doesn't work. So if that happens, don't waste time. Feel free to go to profession, start again, select another profession, and continue. You learn the lesson. Let's move to another one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you, like, you know what I mean? In real life, what are you saying is change your job to a job that pays you more?
well, here is that you learn possibilities what will happen in real life. Of course, you cannot do in real life like that. But now you follow certain strategy and you find out, okay, this didn't work. Since you're simulating, there is no penalty in reality. So you can just go, okay, let's try again the same thing, or let's try something new. So you can implement it in real life. Of course, you cannot do it in real life just like that. I'm out of job for the last 8 years.
Yeah, I guess I have some shares. I mean, I can always sell some of my stock and see how, but again, because it hasn't been a year since I got that stock, so I still have to pay capital gain rights on whatever I sell. So it might not be financially viable. It might not get me anywhere.
So this tells you this can actually happen in real life. So you need to be careful, do on risk management, how you're going to do it in real life. So you will not be penalized like you're penalized in the simulator, in the game. You can be more cautious and to see how far you can go, how far you can be, how much you can be comfortable to go ahead. That's why you try and see what's going on, what will happen, what might happen actually.
Okay.
It's a very good learning, and I think your next payday will actually get you out of trouble. So I think you can still turn it around. Maybe see if you can. If you get more and more into trouble, then obviously you can hit profession and select a new one. But I think you'll be able to turn this around. I think there'll be a very good lesson in there for you if you can. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what you got out of this in the debrief at the end.
Okay.
You can't change professions, obviously, while you're playing the game, right? That it has to reset or something?
You can change professions throughout the game. It will just bring everything back to zero. So you'll lose all of your assets. So you'll lose your stocks, you'll lose the properties that you've bought. And it's similar to real life. So if you go bankrupt in real life, you will also lose your assets and start from scratch. In real life, however, you are then penalized for about 7 years. So you will not be able to be a director of a company anymore. You won't be able to have a good credit history. You'll have difficulties borrowing from the bank. You'll be paying a higher interest rate. You have all of these different things that you'll be penalized with. So this is a great place to go bankrupt because there are no consequences and learn what might have caused it and how to avoid it, as opposed to doing it in real life and then not being able to do the things you want to do for about 7 years. So it's a great thing to do here. And it's good to be able to play around with different strategies in order to be able to see what does work and what doesn't work and what will get you into trouble, so that you don't do it in real life where the stakes are a lot higher than here.
True. Okay, gotcha. Anyone looking to buy this? Because I'm certainly not at that price.
A little bit high. I do have some.
Yeah.
Haven't very long, so I'll probably be okay for now. I'm still
Okay.
No, thank you.
Okay for now.
Okay. All right.
But I do appreciate the offer, though. Another payday.
When am I getting one of those?
So they come in regularly. You might not notice them, but they do come in regularly.
Okay.
Payday Limited. Business has been sold.
So you can see if you have one of those, if you hit sell, I don't think anybody does.
No.
So you can have a look at that
So
one.
okay. So yeah, so the sell button should come up. Is that what you're saying? If I've got one.
If you hit sell, it will automatically tell you if it applies to you.
Yeah. No, my sell button doesn't even come up. It's not even highlighted.
So
All I've got is done.
Well, he hasn't got a choice here, has he? Because he's obviously just received whatever his thing was, and
Payday.
limited partnership is different. It will actually do it automatically for you. So you actually get bought out automatically, so you don't have the option to sell. It would just automatically sell it if you had one.
Okay, cool. Yep, I get it now.
So that means that he will check his cash, or where would that money go? Into passive income?
So the money will go into his bank account. He'll need to pay cash tax depending on how long he's owned it. The limited partnership is a bit of a headache in that sense, because if you buy one of those, it might automatically sell. So you might get bought out before you've owned it for 12 months, which will automatically subject you to the higher tax rates. But it will show up as the actual business will disappear from this asset list, and you will then also notice that you have received the cash, and your general journal in the reports will show that you have paid your taxes as well.
Okay.
All right. Next.
Okay, over to you, Tanya. Fingers crossed we get something good this time.
Please
Come
get
on.
paid.
Come on, Tanya.
Okay, it says waiting for Tanya. I did. Oh, wait, hang on.
So now you need to press the 5,000 or 6,000. Yes.
Oh.
I love the support and the cheering on that you're doing there, Brett.
Yeah.
See, but I'm still, although I got paid, I'm still in the minus 609. I don't get it.
Better than nothing.
So what does your, let's have a look. What does your cash flow statement say right now?
So my income is 13,200, right?
Yes.
And I think my expenses went up to 9,648. I don't know why. Did that mean because I was in the minus for the 4,000?
Potentially, because you may have had to, let's have a look. Have you borrowed any money?
No.
Haven't borrowed any money. Your expenses went up. You didn't have any children. Did you buy anything?
I only bought the shares, the stock, sorry.
And you didn't.
But that was $200, and the other one was. And then there was $2,200, 2,200 in stock.
Let me stop sharing for a second. We'll keep playing, and then I will go into the back end and see if I can see what you have been doing to see what caused that increase in your expenses, because I can actually see everything you've done up until this point.
Yep. And that would be a good exercise for you to share. So for you guys to know too.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right, I'm just going to hit done. I'm guessing that no one's going to buy shares or stock.
No, I'm good for now. Thank you.
Expensive though.
Oh, good. Let's select card.
Okay. Today's price, $10.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Long-time maker of medicines. You know what? I'm going to buy.
Oh. While I'm checking, I'm going to quickly have a look what everybody else is up to, so I don't miss any good deals.
The okay for you drag is at $10, and equal trading range between 5 and 40.
I might actually sell mine as well. Not exactly the highest price, but
okay, I could buy.
Damn it. There you go. Lesson learned. I left it too late.
What happened?
Well, when you push done, I can't sell anymore. It goes straight to the next one. It's good. It's good to know. It's all good.
If you
It times out.
sell on time or sell on time, you can still complete the transaction. But if somebody hits done before you've been able to do that, then yes,
So
that puts an end to that
Oh,
one.
right. Okay. So, Brett, you beat me to it, did you?
No, I was going to sell mine
Okay.
because well, I bought them at $1.
Well, this is a lesson similar to real life. In life, if you don't take quick action, sometimes you miss out on the opportunity.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay.
So I got downsized. Now, luckily, I have some passive income. So, yeah, that will not cover my full expenses, but it will at least reduce my expenses a little bit. So I am okay with that. And then over to you, Brett.
How did you get your passive income? Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't see you play then.
My passive income is from before I bought a house for $50,000, and it has $100 or almost $100, $94.75 worth of cash flow.
So is that from the rental of that house?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so that's what you call passive income, and income that is something that you're not earned by, like, you know, interest and bonds and stuff like that.
Correct. So anything that I don't have to go to work for that is earning me money. And so my property gives me my passive income, which then allows me, when I get downsized, to still earn something as opposed to having zero income.
All right. Were you able to figure out what have I been doing wrong?
So I'm still going through. I had a look at your cash ledger. I'm just having a look at everything else. And then I will give you some more information.
So I'm just going to press done. Nobody else wants to buy the stock at the moment because I'm not going to buy
No.
it. Okay.
So I was able to recover because I have some cash.
Yes.
But still my total expenses, I don't know why they're 9,648.
So,
But my cash flow is in the minus though.
yes.
Is anyone interested in buying stock? No?
Good.
No, thank you.
That was expensive.
And
Let me know when it's my turn again.
yeah, okay. 8%. Today's price 5,000. Anybody interested in this?
No, thank you.
No, I'm good.
Payday for me.
Back to you.
Easy one.
It's your turn, boss. Oh, okay, cool.
Yep. I've
Yep.
done that one.
Payday. I'm good. Payday next.
God damn it.
I'm currently not buying any stock. Is anyone interested? It's a mutual fund.
I'm good.
I'm good. Thanks.
Siéntate.
Ooh.
Think I will.
Oh, and it's back to me, I see.
Yep.
So again, limited partnership sold, so that would have happened automatically. So I can hit done on that one.
Okay. Condo offered 65,000, 2 by 1. So I can 65,000 sell. Actually, wait a minute. So I have owned it. So I've only 5 months. So I'm still going to pay half. What is it? 50% in tax, is it? How does the tax work again?
So if you sell something before the 12-month period, whatever the total taxable gain, the total capital gain is, you pay over that full amount. If you have it for more than 12 months, then the government only taxes you over 50% of the capital gain. So that gets added to your taxable income. So if you made 100,000 profit and you sell it before the 12 months is over, it'll add the 100,000 to your taxable income and then calculate the tax. If you own it for more than 12 months, even though you made 100,000 profit, it will only add 50%, 50,000 to your taxable income and then calculate the taxable amount.
Okay, cool. Okay. I'm going to leave it. I'm done. I'm going to leave it for the moment.
Man, how did it go with Tanya's question?
Sorry?
How did it go with Tanya's question?
So I have had a look. Tanya, you should be back to positive. So I just had a look. Your last income brought you to 16,000 balance, and then you paid your expenses of 6,700, which brought you to 9,354. And then you paid your taxes, which are 2,900, practically 3,000. So you should currently have $6,412 and be in.
But how come that my expenses were first 6,000 and then it was 9,648?
So the extra comes from your taxes. So your taxes are 3,000. So what the system does is it calculates your taxes based off of your estimated earnings. So it will calculate how much you've earned up until this point, how much it expects you to earn by the end of the year, and taxes you over that. At the end of the financial year, it will then calculate whether you've overpaid on the taxes and pay you a tax refund. So similar to real life, it will take your taxes out immediately and then give it back to you if you've overpaid at the end of the year.
So that earned income is gross.
Correct.
And then out of that 13,000, I'll have to pay taxes,
Yes.
Tanya, have you been downsized?
Sorry?
Have you been downsized?
Yes.
That was that.
Do you expect to pay tax when you're downsized when you had no job? No. So as soon as you go, that's why you went down to 6,000 something. When you got job back, then you go start to pay tax again. Very simple.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I didn't check. So I didn't see what my expenses were before I got downsized. So when I checked, was in the last one. So that's why I couldn't see the discrepancy.
Correct. You pay less expenses because you are out of job.
I was out of the job. All right, cool. Good catch.
And you pay high taxes because you're a doctor. High income, pay tax.
A doctor with any assets.
Well, no one force you to be in S, in quadrant. More to B.
I
Big
know.
hospital. Let's other people working for you.
Risking my life for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Is there COVID in this game?
Yeah,
Very easy
yeah,
to explain.
exactly. All right.
Okay now?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right now?
You should be back to positive now, and you should have some cash because you haven't done
I
anything
do.
to really derail yourself. It was just a downsizing that really derailed you for just a short period of time. And then when you got your job back, you just got hit by expenses a little bit. You went back into the negative, but you've now come back into the positive because your income is high enough.
And to be honest, my expenses is what took a big chunk out of my money.
Correct. Because you live
So
large as a doctor.
Yeah, maybe I should downsize and move into
Look
like a
in
resident.
front of the neighbors.
Stop all those parties.
All for sure, because my bank account is not showing that.
Private school for the kids, all of those different things.
Yeah. All right. So I have a house for sale, but I don't have any assets, so this wouldn't apply for me. Although it says I have a sale car.
So you can choose either 5,000 or 6,000 deals. So it's waiting for you to select the card according to my screen.
So if I click sell car,
Oh, I can't see your card. I might need to log out and come back in because I have not been able to see everybody else's cards. So you make your decision, log out and come back in.
okay, so what it says is payday plus house for sale. It's a 3-bedroom and a 2-bedroom, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. House in older area offered by highway department. Market has crashed. No bids at the last week's auction. Use this yourself or sell to another player. It's anybody interested. May sell for 65,000 to 135. But I don't get it because I didn't think that I had any. So I didn't have any income, but I have a sale car.
So this is to buy. So this is a property that you can buy. The down payment's 2,500. And so if you
I don't. Okay. So this is for someone selling it and I can buy it, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So if I have 9,000, so I do have enough money. I do have enough money to buy it. However, if I lose my job, I get COVID and I can't work and I don't have any, any leave. My expenses are 9,648. So I will lose it all.
So
if you get COVID and you work from home and you still have to pay taxes.
Yes.
Sorry, what?
Be a little bit sarcastic. If you get COVID and you work from home and you still get paid taxes.
You work from home, you have to pay taxes. But if you downsize, if you actually lose your job, then obviously your taxes will go down in that period of time. But have a look at your cash flow because you can see how much money you still have coming in. So it's not that you are going to look at it from the point of view of how much your expenses are. You want to have a look at how much cash flow you have, how much cash you have. So in the asset section at the bottom, you can see how much cash you have at the current point in time. You know what your cash flow is. That is once again positive. So that will be adding to the amount of cash that you have. If you get downsized, you might be in a bit of trouble. But right now, you are not really in any danger unless you do end up losing that job.
Hang on, I want to see. Okay, so my cash is 9,000. Are we looking at the green value? Because the monthly cash flow it's in a minus 1,373.33. I don't know why.
Your cash flow is still minus.
No. Like when you look at the bottom, asset, liabilities, income, and expenses, right?
Yes.
Can you look at the tab that says monthly cash flow?
Yes.
What is that? What is that figure?
The one at the very bottom, this one that I'm pointing to right now.
Hang on, let me look at your screen. Yours one is minus 104 and 33 for your home, but you under your personal, you don't have. But in my screen, I don't know if I can share my screen. In my screen, mine is minus 1,300 and something.
So this is separate to the card that you have right now. So this is your monthly cash flow from all of the different assets that you have. So you can see my home is negative, my car is negative, my credit card is negative because I need to obviously pay those off. But my house, my real estate house here is positive. So what you're looking at is not what you already own. You're actually looking at this card here, and you can see your monthly income, which is 125, your monthly expenses 225. So your monthly cash flow here is negative 100. So at the moment, you're just looking at this card, not necessarily at the assets down here, because this one, if you buy it, isn't down here yet. You're just looking at and evaluating just what's on the green section here.
Okay, so if I buy this property, that means that my cash flow is going to be affected only by $100.25, which is not much. I can always get another job as a cashier, I guess. All right.
So the nice thing about the game is that you can do whatever it is that you would like to do to test it out and see what happens. So if you feel uncomfortable buying a property that has negative cash flow, then you don't have to do it. If you feel that it's something you'd like to experiment with, and if you say, I have the cash for it, I'd like to get it, I'd like to see whether I can do something productive with it later on, then that's also completely up to you. So this is and you can see whether it is something that you think is going to be good or not so good.
All right. So do you, by having a negative cash flow, will that be, I mean, I already purchased it, by the way, so, but you can still tell me if that was a bad decision.
So it's not necessarily a good or bad decision. It's going to depend on what the market does and how you feel about taxation. So if the market goes up to 135,000, you can sell the property for a capital gain, which is really good because you are buying it at a cost of 50. You have a down payment of 2,500. So that means that you are, let's have a look, you're borrowing 47,500. So you can, potentially make 85,000 from this property as a capital gain. If you sell it before the 12 months is over, you will have to pay the capital gains tax on that over the full amount. If you sell it after the 12 months, then you will be able to pay a little bit less tax. So it depends on what the market's going to do. If you can handle the minus 100, then that is completely fine. If you feel uncomfortable paying the 100 every month before you sell it, then that's something that you would need to evaluate. So it's not really a good or bad deal. It depends on where you are in the game and what your objective is, whether you want to create capital gain, and if you need cash quickly, or if you want to create more cash flow.
But see, my figures change. So so I can do before we go. So my figures change because now I have passive income, but my expenses have gone up to 11,000, but my cash flow is going up to 2,000.
So your cash flow should have gone down a little bit because now that you've purchased that, your cash flow is negative 100 on what you had before. So your cash flow should have gone down a little bit.
Okay, maybe I didn't remember how much my cash flow was before. Alrighty.
I would practically guarantee that your cash flow has gone down $100 from what it was before.
Okay, cool.
But it's still positive. So unless you lose your job, you should still be okay to be able to hold this property, and then you can sell it for a capital gain later on. So it's not a good or not a bad one.
Alrighty, thank you.
May I jump in with a comment?
Yes, go for it.
Yeah, story from meeting when Robert and Kim Kiyosaki were here in 2018. Who were there was a little exercise that Kim gave us, and it was actually from her personal experience. She had actually a building with a number of units there, which produced a negative cash flow. And we got a task to find out, is it good or bad, with different kind of information. In reality, what actually happened is the person who was in charge, who got the task to manage the property, occupied 3 flats, 3 units, and used it as a storage. So those 3 units didn't produce any income. So when this guy was fired and tenants started to come in, guess what happened? Cash flow became positive. So just because it's negative, we need to find out in reality, why is it negative? There could be good reason, apart from just having for capital gain, just to flip it.
Yeah, and again, this one, like you said, it was an old unit. You can always maybe put some money, you know, do some, what you call it, flip it, and then increase the rent.
As in like a renovation?
Yeah, you know, sometimes you don't need much. Paint it,
Yeah.
you know, do a few things here and there. You know, mostly will be kitchen and bathroom.
Yeah.
And then you can increase, you know, the rent.
That's it.
Yes, and whatever you did, you put in, there could be additional probably tax cuts.
Yeah, because I will have some expenses.
That's right. So
Okay.
it's not that, it doesn't mean it, because the negative cash flow, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the game is always going to still be simpler than real life. So in real life, you're going to have a lot more information about the deal that you're looking at. And you also know what the strategy is. So you're going to know whether you want to have something that is going to appreciate quickly, or whether you want to get something that has cash flow. You're going to know how long you're going to be able to hold it before it becomes an issue. If you have negative cash flow, there are tax implications for having negative geared properties. And depending on your circumstances, it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. So the idea is to play around with it and start to ask the questions that are going to allow you to start having a look at how it works in real life, so that you understand what is going on, so that you can evaluate more, so that when it comes to real life, you're also evaluating, as opposed to just rushing into something because somebody else has told you to, or because you think it's going to be good. It allows you to see more of what's actually going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
All right. Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate more about maybe, you know, a couple of examples of a negative cash flow and positive? Like, you know, you wouldn't really be like accurate, but like, you know, just sort of we have an idea.
So from Robert Kiyosaki's point of view, there is a difference between negative cash flow in Australia and negative cash flow in the US. So in the US, you are using phantom money to create that negative cash flow. So you're not actually paying that money out. And so you are still making a profit because you are using depreciation to send yourself negative, which is not real money going out. And so Americans are very confused by our idea of negative gearing. In Australia, however, if you do negative gear, you're actually losing money. You're literally losing money on the deal. But the government gives you a tax incentive for that. So if you are making too much money, then you can offset some of that by negative gearing on the property, which reduces your taxable income.
Income, correct.
So there is a different way of looking at it from the US and the Australian point of view. So the thing that you would need to do is, if you're going to negative gear, you'd need to have a talk to your accountant to have a look at what is my circumstances and does it actually fit? Because only your accountant will be able to evaluate your circumstances and whether it's right or not. So here in the game, you can play around with it and you can say, let's see what happens if I buy a negative cash flow property. If you feel in the game that you want to generate a lot of capital gain because you need cash, then you can use it for that purpose. If you say, I don't really want to risk the negative 100 for X number of months because I'm thinking that, yeah, I already have enough expenses as it is. Then you'd probably leave it for now and look for another deal that's going to have positive, that you can also make money off, but they will also put money into your pocket at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, again. But then look, the other thing, I guess, when I made the decision is the deposit was so low and the price was so low. And then literally when we go out for a dinner, it's like $75. So it's like, I will not take anyone out for a dinner for a month. Like, you know what I mean? So you can easily spend that minus $100 in
Property
other
or
things.
eating.
Yeah, so you have to, like, you know what I mean? You need to change a lot of, your mind setting as well as to what is $100. $100 is just going to the mall and buying all these things that we don't need and buying toys that the children don't need and, play for like 5-10 minutes.
So that sounds like very sound reasoning. It sounds like you've thought it through very well and you've made your decision. So that sounds like you have evaluated, which is the idea of that card, to get you thinking about it so that you can then make an informed decision, which it sounds like you've done. So that's really amazing.
Thank you.
Isn't that what Robert Kiyosaki used to say for his books, that he doesn't want to give answers, but help us to think and find right questions for us and seek answers for them. And that's exactly what you're doing now, Tanya.
And you know what? Because everyone is different. I don't know if you guys have children, I don't know, like, how you view life. I don't know if you buy all brand, like, you know what I mean? We're all at different life stages where, like now, I don't buy as much as I used to buy. I only buy when there's sales. I know when to buy, and it doesn't mean that I need to downsize. But, like I buy Lancome and Myers had these 2 sales twice a year, and that's when I purchase. So I get value for money.
And that's exactly it. You've hit the nail on the head, Tanya, because we all have different circumstances. We all have different tax circumstances. So there are a number of different things that you have to keep in mind for every transaction that you do in life. What are my tax implications? So you need to have a talk to your tax specialist about that, because you're probably not going to be able to evaluate that on your own. You need to have a talk to, because they obviously know the law and they know what's been going on. They know about the changes. They know what you can and can't deduct. And we're not specialists in that, so we're not going to be very good at that. You need to be able to know what are your family circumstances. So are you going to have children later on? Is it more risky to have a property that's negative because you want to be able to provide your kids with really good education? Is it something that could send you backwards if you go into the negative or if you lose your job, for example? So those are the other things that you need to keep in mind. If you have a really smooth running business and you have a lot of cash coming in, you could very easily afford to be able to do it because you know that you have alternate cash coming in, for example. And the third thing, well, there's more than that, but one of the third other really important things to have a think about is with regards to your risk profile. So if you can't sleep at night, you probably shouldn't do a deal. If you can do it and you can still sleep at night, then it's worth perhaps doing. But you need to be able to know whether you can sleep at night or not, whether it fits your risk profile or not, whether you feel uncomfortable doing a certain deal. And all of those plus more are going to help you determine. But I will never say this is a good deal or a bad deal, because I've had somebody playing with me before and I told them at some stage, this was years ago, I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago. And I'd already been playing Cashflow for a long time by that stage, because I've been playing for about 14 years now. And they said that they wanted to get out of the rat race on this one deal. And I said, I can't see a way to do it. I don't think you can. And they found a way. My mind was blown. I learned something very interesting. No matter how much you've played the game, no matter how you look at it, there might be an alternate way. There might be something completely brand new that you haven't thought of that is possible. So there is no right or wrong answer. There is just asking questions, experimenting, doing different strategies and seeing what happens and learning from it. And this is the safer place to do it rather than doing it in real life where you can go bankrupt, where you can get into trouble, where you can create issues that are going to cause you sleepless nights. Here you can do something and find out that it doesn't work and then decide, I'm not going to do that in real life, or I'll evaluate it much more carefully in real life because I got burnt in the game, but here it won't hurt your finances and it won't hurt your credit score and it won't hurt your ability to do things in real life.
And I see the point that you were talking about before. Sorry, I didn't, because I'm not looking at the screen. I can't see your guy's name. It wouldn't be right, I guess, to give an advice like you said, because everyone has everyone is different. So like, I might just come and say, you know what, we're just going to downsize. We're just going to move to a 2-bedroom apartment. And then we're just going to say we have enough toy, enough cloth, enough whatever. So we can save now versus, no, we're just going to continue living our life and spending and eating out and whatnot. So, those different, you need to make that decision based on what you're willing to give out, or what you're willing to do in order to, make that investment, I guess.
Correct. And notwithstanding the fact that if I did give you advice, I would need to have a financial planner's license, which I do not have. So there's also that. In the game, obviously, I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to advise people. I want them to be able to test out different ideas and see what happens and learn from the experience rather than me tell you what I would do and then you don't learn anything from it because you're just parroting what I'm doing. And you might not be able to do that in real life because my risk profile might be different. I might have different family circumstances. My amount of cash is going to be different. My cash flow is going to be different. Everything is going to be different about what's going on for me as opposed to what's going on for you, both in the game and in life as well.
Fair enough.
Okay, I think we went quite deeply on that one, which is a good thing. I like to be able to make sure that everybody's questions get answered, but...
I got logged out.
Yes, we all get logged out if we haven't played for a while, so our discussion has logged us out for a second. So you can log back in and enter the room again, and that is all fine. So I'm just going back into room 1. And then I lost my turn because I got logged out. Over to you, Brett.
Wonderful. Baby.
Oh, shit.
No, it's good.
Wait.
I'm going to call it Xavier.
Xavier.
Tanya, and then if you hit
Done.
Fill in your details and sign in, it will let you back in. And then you just need to make sure you go back to the room, otherwise you'll be playing by yourself until.
So now I've got the extra $6.40 a month expenses for one child.
Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Would anybody like to buy 10 acres of raw land from me? Wonderful park-like setting with stream on 10 acres in undeveloped area, no roads, new utilities, no noise. Sounds so idyllic and beautiful, doesn't it? Wouldn't anybody like
No, thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm selling ice to Eskimos. Okay, there we go. Tanya, you made it back. Over to you. Tanya hasn't made it back in. There we go. I think if you've been speaking, you're on mute, so we haven't been able to hear you, but all good.
Oh, here we go. What's this?
Look if I have any of these.
For you, $30.
Wow.
Cool. Okay.
Want them for 1 month. I am okay for now. I'll hold off for a second. So I am good. Thank you.
I'm going to I'm going to sell mine. Oh, no, I can't. Why is it telling me no? Oh, sell. So I'm going to sell mine. See what happens. See how much tax I pay.
Finally.
Did you manage to squeeze in this time, Brett?
Yep, I got in.
Very good.
I sold my 100.
Perfect. And Joseph got a payday, which is good. And then we're back to you, Brett, when you're ready.
Before. So how do I find just what I sold for and how much tax I paid and all that kind of stuff? Is that the statement?
So if you want to have a look from a cash point of view, you can go into the cash ledger. So my screen should still be on screen. So you can see everything that you've done that is either sent money in. It will have your taxes. If you go into negative, you pay interest on a negative balance, for example. It will show you the shares that you've bought, the properties that you've bought, the transfers between bank accounts. So it will show you everything that's happened throughout the game from a cash point of view. If you want to see even greater detail, if you go into reports, bookkeeping, and the general journal, it will show you the even more detailed version with every expense, every purchase, and all the taxes broken down into their consecutive parts.
Yep, so I can see cash ledger is good. I can see I sold it for $3,000. I paid $740 tax.
Yes.
My capital gain. Right, cool. Okay, I will go to payday. Wonderful. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Oh, and I have OK for $40. Is that the one that we bought for $1?
Bingo.
It is. I might be happy to actually sell those and pay the capital gains.
Yeah, I'm in too.
I think I am happy to sell those with the capital gains included.
Oh, okay, so when you press sell and it's giving you your tax capital gains 39%, that's telling you how much you're going to pay. Cool, okay.
And then you can also go into your bookkeeping and your general journal. Yep. And if we go all the way to the bottom, you can see that I have paid capital gains tax of $14,430 for that one. So I received $40,000, $1,000 was the purchase price, capital gains $39,000, and then I paid $14,000 in taxation on that one.
Yeah, cool.
There we go. So one of the disadvantages for me is that everybody can see what I did and knows how much I bought of everything. But that's okay because I like to share. I obviously want everybody to know what it is that I'm doing, not to copy me, but to get some ideas. And so I now have 26,000 that I didn't have before. So what I quickly do as well is show you this bank section. So I would like to now repay my loan from before. Yeah. I can select the loan that I'd like to repay. I only have one personal loan. It will automatically select the full amount if I want to, and then I can repay that one. Nice. I've already showed you the transfer, borrow money also directly from here. You can make those repayments and you can pay another player. So if you want to do a deal together with somebody else, or if you want to pay them for a deal that they can sell to you, then you can do that there as well. Okay, so I'm going to pass that one on over to you, Tanya. I'm not sure. I don't think anybody managed to buy any plexes yet, so I'm not sure if this is going to be relevant to anybody, but if you want to check, you can hit sell and see what happens.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? Should I just click done?
Yes. By this stage, I'm sure everybody would have figured out what they want to do with that one. So go ahead.
Mhm.
And then over to you, Joseph.
Go back in there.
Oh,
Payday.
$50.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
Better.
Ooh. Okay.
I was thinking of only selling half too. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It's okay. Life happens. You can't predict some things.
Can't, yeah, you don't want to wait to the top.
Yeah, no. Got my payday, so I will push it on to the next.
You don't want to catch a falling knife, but you also don't want to catch a knife that's being thrown up in the air.
That's it.
All right, here we go.
That looks nice, Brett.
It looks very nice. Yep. Payday, automated business, 100,000, 20,000 down. Okie dokie. Cash flow 1,000. Yeah, that's very nice. I'm going to buy that. 20 down. Because I sold all my stock, I have plenty.
Yes.
Buy. Okay. So that's kind of good because it's actually excellent, man.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to say thank you. So nobody else wants to buy?
So nobody else can buy. Once you've bought, obviously, that one business is a unique business and cannot be bought by anyone. Unless you'd like to share it with somebody, but buying it outright, they wouldn't be able to do.
Roger.
Yes, that is how that one works. I'm going to buy myself another house. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I am going to... I'm looking forward to when we've actually added whether you have good credit or not. I'm going to reduce my down payment so I can spread my down payments a little bit further across more properties. So that's what that. So I am going to buy that one at the reduced down payment. I don't know if I think I did buy it at the reduced down payment. Yeah. Then over to you, Tanya, and you can choose the 5,000 or 6,000 deal. And I just quickly wanted to say, I hope that everybody's okay with us taking the time to answer Tanya's questions because it might be relevant to you, obviously. And I don't like to rush through the game. I like to take the time to actually explore the details and have a chat about everything because that's where the big learning happens, not from just rushing through the game and not actually seeing what's happened and asking questions around why. It's really important to take the time to look at it a little bit more deeply. And I want to make sure that everybody gets the concepts.
Yep.
And he's not paying me to ask the question. I usually am the person that at every meeting asks all the questions because I found that, we have this meeting and everyone walks out and everyone just half confused on what we have to do. So I decided at some point I'm just not going to do that anymore. So sorry if you guys find it a bit,
No. All good.
So on that,
we're learning too.
I'm not sure whether any of you have seen the newsletters that I send out, but I send out a newsletter once a week. And the next topic that I actually want to share, which I'll give you a bit of a sneak peek into, is asking questions. So there was a TV show episode that my partner wanted to watch with me. And there was a farmer in America, in Texas, and he knew very little about certain things. But unlike most people, he was very open to asking questions. So he was getting his hair done by somebody who was gay. And he wasn't sure how that all worked because he'd never met a gay person. Most people would just guess and see if they can figure out what they should be doing because they don't want to lose face asking the question. This guy, however, was humble enough to ask the question and say, how would you like me to address you? How does that work? How do I How do I treat you respectfully? And so the key in life is to be able to ask those questions. Even if we think we know the answers, let's test to see if we actually know the answers. By asking the question, we can then see whether we actually get the answer that we think we're going to get because we think we know the answer, or we'll find out whether our answer wasn't correct or our guess wasn't correct because we're actually getting a different answer in reply. So it's a really, really powerful thing to ask lots of questions and take the time to evaluate. So there's absolutely nothing wrong in my eyes with doing that. And then in the meantime, Tanya's had a 3-2 house buyer for 65,000. I'm sure everybody would have had the chance to have a look at that one and has made a choice on that. And we can hit done. And I'm going to turn the light on here because I am starting to sit in the dark. So don't turn on the light. And close the blinds probably as well.
Oh, crap. Downsize.
Downsize. Damn it.
Right, my place.
God damn it.
Oh, did you get downsized or was that a baby?
No, downsize.
Oh.
I'm
not sure what you've done to upset the boss, but there we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Over to you, Brett. Ooh.
Okay, so I've got, I think 2x3, split level, 110,000 down, 3% minus ROI. So for 150. So is this game, if we stop right now, we come back to this game now, or we start another one in a week? How does that work?
We could keep the game where it is. And what I'm thinking is with the beginners so we're going to split this up into beginners and advanced. And I think we might see if we can start doing that next week. So for the beginners, we get them to restart so that they get the chance to see how to get a game started and get as much progress as possible. And then for the advanced people to actually keep the game going so that they can come back in, continue on with the strategy until they reach the milestones. I'm actually in the process of evaluating because I was having a chat to a couple of people who were here with us last fortnight. And we were talking about something that we used to do, which was closing the loop, making sure that everybody that plays finishes the game. Because it's really important to feel that you've actually completed the game. And it also encourages people to come back because they actually feel that they've achieved the objective of the game. But on the other hand, if you are assisting people to be able to do that, there's an advantage to it by having them complete the game and feeling accomplished. But by assisting them, they haven't actually learned the lesson. So I'm weighing up how to do this in future. And that's something that I am wrapping my head around and probably will have that ready for next week or the week after. Because it was just a discussion I had yesterday, actually. So I haven't finalized that one yet.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Because after what you talked about before, buying this, I would be thinking about a long-term strategy on how I'm going to make up that $102. But because we're only going to play tonight, I'm going to say, no, I'm not. I'm going to give it a miss.
Yeah.
But I would maybe hit it just so I could, think about how I could do it later. Because we're here.
I'm glad that you asked that, or I'm glad that you asked that question or shared what you just mentioned, because that is very powerful for what Tanya was speaking about before. It shows that you've given a lot of thought and you've evaluated where is the game going, where will I be over a certain amount of time in order to be able to make that decision. Do I buy now or not? So it's always important to evaluate those things.
Yeah. Because it is. Because I was thinking, like, can I renovate and put a dryer in and a washing machine and all that kind of, paint the thing and charge them an extra $50 a week or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Hi. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm not actually playing, but I just wanted to stop in and say hi. I don't know if I even have a camera on.
Yeah, you do. We can't see you.
I do?
You do.
Hi. You probably can't actually. It's nice to see all of you. I hope you're having fun.
Hello.
I'm not actually playing. I just wanted to stop in and see how everyone's going. You having fun?
Having fun.
Yep. And learning.
Yay! That's awesome. That is so cool.
Yay!
Is everyone like?
I said I've done a good job up until this far. I haven't persuaded anybody to say that they are having fun, so that's good. And I'm glad you asked. Good.
I'm sure they are having fun. It seems like the best thing ever. I'm so excited for you all to be playing. How many of you are there today? That's so good.
So there's quite a few of us.
It's like a full-on party.
Yes.
It's a house party.
Before, she's been very busy and hasn't been able to make it as many times, but she promised she'd quickly drop in. And you brought me a lot of luck because you brought me a really good apartment complex. So let's see.
Always.
Oh, look
I'll
at
bring
that
you
for
all the
Cashflow.
apartments.
Hell yeah, look at that.
I'm very
Cashflow.
good luck in this game.
Yes. Ooh.
Anyways, love you heaps. I'll see you tomorrow morning on the Vibe. Congratulations on your amazing event, and I would love to hear how it goes afterwards.
We'll let you know.
Bye.
We'll see you again soon. So that was a quick drop in. Let's see, have I borrowed enough? Okay, so I got a really nice apartment building that I definitely want to get. And I have not borrowed enough. I need another 3,000. Okay, so to me, this is worth borrowing a little bit of money for. I really want to be able to control this property. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that one.
Can you give us your reasoning as to why you feel that that is a good deal?
Well, first of all, I already knew that I was going to reach my milestone of passive income is greater than my expenses, even though I had to borrow money for it. So you'll notice that on my screen, my milestone has ticked. So I did some very quick maths in my head, which I also highly recommend you do when you're evaluating deals. So this property has monthly cash flow of 2,398. It has a return on investment of 54.38%, which means that after 1 year of ownership, I get half of my initial down payment back. Now, my ROI is actually a little bit higher because I reduced the down payment. Because obviously, if you have a look at my assets down the bottom, I already have 2 houses that are both positive cash flow. So the bank thinks that I'm doing quite a good job. I have some shares. So I'm not really a risky person. I also had some cash. So I've evaluated how much money I'm still likely to make. I did a very quick calculation of what my interest repayments would be, and they are less than my monthly cash flow. So I knew that it would still be positive cash flow after I bought that, including borrowing money.
Borrowing the money. Yeah, okay.
So this is why I decided to buy this one. Again, your circumstances might be different. So so I've depleted my cash. It still has positive cash flow. It gets me out of the rat race. But for somebody who is a little bit more risk averse, it might be a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to depend on what you want to do, how quickly you can do the calculations, how comfortable you get with doing those calculations. For me, I can see it works. I've been playing this game for a very long time. Laden's done his absolute best to make it more challenging for me as well. And so I also need a little bit more time to get out with the more realistic version. But that would be the reasons why I bought them. And hopefully that answers your question, Tanya.
And why is your earned income only 1,600?
So my salary has not gone
Janitor.
up. So I'm a janitor. I earn 1,600. I continue to earn 1,600. If I wanted to, I could tell my boss to go jump in a lake tomorrow if I wanted to, because my passive income is 6,500 and my total expenses are 6,025. Now, in real life, I probably wouldn't want to quit my job until my passive income was twice my expenses. Then I have an extra buffer. I know quite a few people who have done it that way, and they have waited until they have reached their passive income more than twice their expenses. But if I wanted to, I could quit my job right now, but it's going to depend on what my next choices are in the game. If I end up selling my apartment complex, my passive income will go to practically zero. I'll have cash, but I would still need to find a way to earn some income.
So you're not a doctor like us?
I am definitely not a doctor. My expenses.
He's cleaning your toilets.
Oh yeah. So you should be making money with all these COVID cleanups, whatever.
Haven't thought of it that way.
You need to talk to your boss. You need to talk to your boss because just change the cleaning services and make it COVID to make some money.
I'm much more happy with my apartment complex. I will say that for sure. I'm sick of this cleaning rubbish. I can't believe that I actually was cleaning for all this time because it's not something that I usually do. But that's another story. But the main thing is that I could technically stop working right now. It's going to depend on what my circumstances is and how I feel about the deal. I was very quick to be able to do the calculation because this is something that I've practiced a lot. So I would definitely recommend doing a practice of how do I do the calculations to be able to see what this deal actually does. So if I pay the lower down payment, how much is my cash flow? If I borrow money, how much am I borrowing? How much do I need to pay to be able to borrow that money? What is my repayment? And is that more or less than my monthly cash flow? The faster you can do that, the faster you can evaluate the deal, the faster you can capitalize on a deal. Because in real life, deals go very, very fast. In the game, you have time to think about it. In real life, if you don't give the real estate an answer by the end of the day, sometimes somebody else will buy that property, especially in a buyer's market like this one.
Hang on, has it logged us out?
Sorry?
I think it's kicked me out.
It will log you out if you haven't been playing for a certain amount of time. You can just log straight back in.
Right back in I am, sir.
Okay, I'm going to hit done on that one, and I will pass back to
It's my turn again.
go when you've logged back in. And congratulations.
Oh, geez, damn, another baby.
Another one for you, yes.
God, am I fertile or is she fertile?
Not sure. You'll have to discuss that at home.
All right, done.
How are you going, Joseph and Tanya, with getting back in?
Yeah, I'm back in. I think it's your turn, is it, Menno? I think it's yours.
Yes.
No, it's mine. Is
okay.
it? Oh wait, I think I'm playing by myself because I just got.
Tanya's playing by herself. Joseph's back in. Let's have it. And we
Go
have
for a quick pee. Be back.
Okay. No, all good. Okay, for you at $5 today.
Excuse me.
$5.
I will buy a few of those. Okay, hopefully everybody has chosen on that one. And if you have, I will hit done.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Ooh, bro.
All right.
$10.
No dividend. No, I am not doing anything here.
All good.
No more cash flow. Yeah, so go done.
And then over to Tanya.
Oh no, I had a baby.
Congratulations.
Not really. I don't want any more children. They're expensive. Can't have. I'm their passive income. So that's it.
They might bring you passive income, but not for another 20 or 30 years, probably.
No, forget it. It's been 18 and he wants a break from 12 years of doing high school. I'm like, okay. try doing everything that I do.
Oh, Brett, perfect timing. Back to your turn.
Boom.
Payday. Wow.
Payday. Done. Right. Next.
A nice, easy, quick one.
Oh, no.
My first
What's
payday.
Congratulations.
My
What's with all these?
still higher.
What's with all this fertility going around?
There's a lot of
I
fertility.
know, right?
We're in COVID
Mating
time.
season. Wow.
No baby.
Okay. Payday plus mutual fund.
I will say, though, that I feel very comfortable with my financial position having a child right now, because it does not affect my ability to stay out of the rat race. So it's always good to work on your financial literacy and your financial abilities, so that in real life you have more choices, and it is easier to have children and make certain choices when your finances are in a row. Your ducks are in a row, your finances are in a row.
But what do you mean financial literacy? I mean, I understand the concept, but like, what things would you cover?
So understanding the principle of passive income, and that you have a rat race and that you can escape the rat race if you invest in certain things. So financial literacy is understanding as much as possible in order to be able to create the life that you want. So for example, understanding how taxes work to a certain degree and having a good accountant who can assist you with your taxes. Understanding principles of real estate, understanding principles of the stock market, understanding how to evaluate stocks, how to evaluate properties, how to start a business, run a business, all of those different things. In the case of Brett as well, having knowledge on cryptocurrencies, having knowledge on foreign exchange, having knowledge on all of these different things gives you the advantage of being able to implement them. And that's what I call I and Robert Kiyosaki call financial literacy. The more knowledge you have, the more you can implement, the more you can experiment, the more you can then also learn and improve in order to be able to achieve your goals and achieve that financial freedom.
Right.
Would you run a, what do you call it, a workshop, I guess? I could be a Zoom one on a financial literacy, like maybe like introduction to financial literacy?
Yes, it's interesting you asked, because there is a lady who I met about 9 or 10, maybe even more years ago, and she had 2 very young daughters, and she homeschools them now, and she has requested if I can run a course for them in order for them to be able to learn some financial literacy and get started on their journey to investing. So I am putting that together as we speak, and can use that in order to be able to create a workshop for you as well. It's going to be very practical. So I'm going to get them to actually do exercises. And what is relevant to them is also relevant to everybody here. It's not just something that is for girls who are almost about finished high school. It is something that is valuable to everybody, in order to be able to understand those principles more. And it is a very broad subject, as I'm sure Brett will agree with me. Once you know one topic, you realize that you don't really know that topic, and that there's more to learn, and that there are other areas that you can also learn about. So I'm very excited about putting that together for them and seeing what I can do to also expand that and take what I've already created for them and offer it to everybody here as well.
Beautiful.
Good. Thank you.
Oh, you are very welcome. Okay. Would you like?
Oh wait, it's my turn. Yeah, sorry. Because when I'm in Zoom, I can't see my thing.
Oh, good. I know that you are hanging off my lips and very, very curious to know my answers. So I completely understand.
Payday.
Payday is good.
Alrighty. That's it.
Oh, me again. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okie dokie. Let's go for Payday 4. Oh, okay, 4plex for sale.
Ooh, not bad.
Not bad at all. Yeah, 700, 20,000 down. 100,000, sell it. I think I'll take that. Buy 4 clicks. Done. I have purchased my next home.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And then it's back over to me. I'm just gonna check my pay's come in. That's nice.
Your what?
My pay has come in.
Oh, your pay.
My pay. So I've got another automated business. I'm gonna say yes to that one. Even though I have to borrow a little bit, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Actually, let's see. What is my minimum payment?
I keep forgetting about doing that.
Sorry?
I keep forgetting about doing this, checking out the minimum. Damn it.
Yes, this is also a good lesson. So even if you are already investing, there are certain things that you may not be paying attention to. I'm sure you know there are always these things that in hindsight you look at and you go, oh, I could have done that on that last deal that I did, or I could have done something else. So the board game, if you forget to ask for your paycheck, it's a really good lesson that very often we don't actually have a look at. What's on our bank statements? How much did the money that a friend of mine said he was going to pay me back, did he actually do it? Very often we don't check these things. So small things like this are very important for us to be able to pay more attention to our finances and realize that if we give it focus, if we give it attention, that it will allow us to be able to achieve more than if we neglect certain things. So it's a really important lesson to notice what is and what is not something that we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to check if I actually bought this one because no, I haven't. I thought I did. Yes, I did. I did buy it. Apartment house people. Okay. Missed the soul. I thought I only had one on my balance sheet, but I saw the second one. So again, if I'm not sure whether I have done something correctly or not, I'll go down, I'll verify, I'll double check. The more focus you give your finances, the more you understand it, first of all, and the more focus you give it and actually check things, the less mistakes we make. Very often we will just brush over things. If we don't understand it, we don't want to look silly, or we don't want to spend the time on it because we don't like it, we don't enjoy it, or we're not certain about something. But it's really important to go back, ask people questions, check your own statements, make sure that the money's come in, make sure that you check whether your pay is correct, make sure that you are doing all of those different things. If you can, apply for grants, for example, or if you're able to apply for other things such as lower down payments, you want to make sure that you're aware of them so you can actually implement them, because otherwise you're missing out on these really good opportunities to make greater profits.
Yeah.
Good lesson in that too.
Good.
Okay, over to you, Joseph.
Lovely. Okay, I'm gonna go with Jesus Christ, downsize again.
Downsize again.
Okay, all right. Okay. That sucks.
It happens.
Yeah.
The question is, have you prepared financially? Have you set yourself up that it doesn't affect you? Or have you set yourself up so that it does affect you? Those are the really important questions to ask.
Yeah, definitely the latter, because I've not been able to generate enough cash flow. Yeah, so I've sort of just been hovering around, like sort of from where I was in the start. I've grown just a bit. Yeah, I need to increase my cash flow. Because obviously with stuff that you put into capital gains, you're not going to see that reflect right away, right? That's more long term.
Right.
So I've got to try and figure out a way to increase my cash flow. That's the more immediate goal.
That is a very good lesson, and it's the same in real life. So
Yeah.
a lot of people got caught out when 2020 started. Life was coming along, they didn't have to worry about anything, and then suddenly something happens. If you haven't prepared, if you don't have everything set in place for worst case scenario, life can be extremely challenging. So it's, again, really important to learn about financial literacy so that you can set things in place and not wait until everything goes wrong. And the interesting thing around that is that when things go wrong, when we stress, our brain capacity actually goes down, our IQ goes down. So in stress situations, it becomes more difficult to come up with a solution than when things are calm and you are preparing. When nothing is going wrong, you can actually have a better IQ, which gives you better solutions, which allows you to actually set everything up.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Famous study on farmers. And these farmers had 2 crops a year, so they got paid twice a year. And they did an IQ test on them just after they had been paid, and they got paid for 6 months. And then they did an IQ test on them again just before they got paid, when they were starting to run out of money. And their IQ was around 10 points lower.
Wow.
When they were, this is when obviously when they were under the pump.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
yeah, no, because you can't think straight, right? Because
your financial situation is actually affecting your ability to generate solutions to challenges. It's unbelievable how much that influences your ability to come up with solutions.
Solutions, that's it. That's true. Wow.
There you go. Some interesting side notes there. Over to you.
Yeah.
After all of that bit of shocking information.
Oh
Oh no!
We've been dealt a bad hand this round.
Wait. I will receive passive income and have to pay all expenses.
Yes.
Well, my passive income is only $125, and my expenses are like
That's the thing.
Oh, more lessons in there for you. So you already had this happen once. So the idea is that once this happens the first time, you want to see if you can protect yourself from it happening again. Your finances have not really improved yet. Your expenses are still relatively high. So it's a very good lesson that now that it's happened again, hopefully you're able to make some changes in order to be able to prevent this from happening again. I think you'll survive. I think you'll be okay, but it's a very good lesson again. These things happen in life.
My turn. What have we got? Fourplex again.
Ooh.
Okay, 15 down. Wonderful. Let's have a look at that. Nice. Well maintained. That's what we like. Okay. So 0.
Oh, very good. Paying attention to last time.
Boom. Geez, that's almost more than half.
Aha.
Yeah.
Now it allows you to spread the amount of money you have over more properties.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the advantage of being able to reduce your down payment in real life as well. It allows you to take the amount of capital that you have. If you have enough down payment for one property, if you can halve the down
Spread
payment,
it out.
buy 2 properties instead of just
Is that also because he's got other properties, so he's essentially borrowing against more equity?
So in real life, yes. If you can show that you are a savvy investor, then there are opportunities for you to be able to reduce your down payment. But you definitely need to have a good credit score for that.
Yeah, a good credit
for showing that you are financially savvy.
Righto.
Payday for me, and I don't think anybody has a widget company. I'm going to hit sell, but it says no assets found, so I definitely don't have one of those. I do have a couple of companies, but obviously not that one. So I'm going to hit done. I think everybody else is also hitting sell to check. It looked like Brett definitely was. over to you, Joseph.
Payday plus mutual fund. No, nothing's happening here. Not more of this. Not more shares. No. No. So over to Tanya.
Yes.
Let's see my cash flow.
NYT for you, $30.
Anyone interested?
I am.
Let me know when you're done. I'm eating noodles again.
I'm okay for that.
Maybe I should lose. I will lose some weight. That's the good sign of it. No eating out. Everyone done?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Charity, hell yeah.
Charity for Brett. So this one is optional. If you'd like to donate to charity, you can hit pay and it will automatically calculate the 10% of your total income.
Boom. Pay that.
See that one?
I mean, so like in the board game, do we get extra?
So
Dice or
this
something?
one doesn't allow you to go around the board quicker. We don't have any advantage to charity. It's similar to what a friend of mine who is a very big Cashflow player in real life likes to say. He says that he likes to do charity regardless of whether there is something in it for him or not, because he tends to find that he usually has more luck and that more opportunities present themselves. Good karma just, shows up.
Yeah.
Well, no, I totally agree. Totally agree. And I think it's, I was actually playing the board game only on the weekend with a friend of mine's son.
Yes.
And he's now 20. And when I got the charity that came up and I bought it straight away.
Yep.
And he was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, you gotta figure this out." Like, and he is actually a person who genuinely cares about the world. And I'm like, don't wait until you're rich to give back.
Yep.
Just always give back. You figured it out, but it was good to see him thinking about why we should donate money. You know?
Again, there's no right or wrong answer, but I have found very often that the people who are more open to it generally do a little bit better. But there's also the opposite. There are people who don't do anything charity-wise and still manage to do well. So there's no right or wrong answer, but that's why it's not compulsory to donate to charity in the game either.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Ooh, I think I sold all of mine of those. Oh no, I still, I've had them for 1 month.
I thought you did.
I wouldn't. I'm not gonna buy. Anybody interested?
No.
Good, but thank you.
All right.
Okay, we might each have one more turn, and then we need to finish at 9. I want to make sure that we can still do a bit of a debrief.
Yep.
And,
Cool.
yes.
Oh, it's my turn. Sorry, my turn already. Cool. All right, come in, spinner. Come on.
Come in, spinner.
I should have just done a big one. Damn it. Okay. So another 2, 3x2, 75,000, 7,000 down, cash flow, really $300. I'll take it.
Very nice.
Expenses. Let's do that again. Boom, baby, 0. Oh yeah, look at that. Love that. So I dropped it from 7,000 down to 3.7 for the deposit.
Very nice.
And of course as well. Done. Okay.
Okay, very nice. Let's see what I can come up with on the last deal. Payday and salary increase. That is nice. I was hoping for a nice big deal too, but that's okay.
Wow. Wow. Let's go.
I missed. Did it say a percentage of salary increase?
So I got $200 more.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So I was on 1,600 and now I have 1,800.
Yep.
Okay,
Nice.
let me do- Hang on.
Over to you, Joseph.
Yes, sirree. I'm just checking my position. All right, let's do this. Okay.
Oh, house for sale.
You know what? I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna go for this.
Very nice.
Yeah, 100%. I like that. I like the gains. That's about 85,000 up, right? In thingy, yeah. Monthly cash flow, more importantly, yeah, got that. Well, could do with that. Bank. Okay, transferring between my accounts. All right. Okay. Let's put that in the down payment 2,500. Nice.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice indeed, sir. And I just click buy right at the top.
So yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Is that, how do I know it's been bought?
So if you go to the bottom,
A real estate.
see what you own, and so you can see if it's the same one that you had before.
Yay! Yeah. All right, and I think I've got to click done. All right. Yep.
Okay, beautiful.
I love that, sir.
Okay, very nice. And then Tanya is last before we start debriefing.
Okay.
Interesting.
Payday, and if you have a small business, that one has improved and your income goes up by $250 if you started a business. Not sure if that applies to you, but hopefully. But the payday is still not bad to finish off on.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay.
I was in the minus, so I couldn't, even if I wanted to. Plus, I don't have time to get 250 extra.
Yes. So technically we have run out of time because I want to quickly go through the debrief. But whatever happened throughout the game does not really matter. What matters is what you've learned from it and what you have figured out along the way. Even somebody like Brett, who has experience investing, has been able to see that there are certain things that you need to keep an eye on that you might not think of when you're investing that can make a huge difference between a really good deal and an average deal, or a deal that goes sour, even though you know what you are doing. Tanya, really amazing questions, which has been really good. And Joseph, you've been a little bit more the quiet type, but I can tell that you also learned a lot and shared some of your ideas and also asked some questions, which has been really good.
Yeah.
So I wrote down a couple of things, and the first I'll go through with Brett first. So the first thing I noticed that you were acting a lot like you have invested before, which is absolutely the case. I saw that you were buying a lot quickly. And this is a very good key to being able to get yourself out of trouble with regards to some of the things, for example, that happened to Tanya. You need to make sure that you're picking up good deals, but you want to move as quickly as possible.
Yep.
And you're able to pick up a couple of deals that set yourself up quite quickly. So that was really good. You missed a stock deal, so there was a really good lesson in that one. You noticed what happened for you at that moment? Were you distracted by something else and then you missed out, or what happened with that stock deal that you missed out on?
I think I was actually just listening to everyone talk, because I was looking at the button and I was listening to everyone talk, and then I thought I'll press it later kind of thing, and then I realized, of course, you're going to move on. As soon as I saw the click, I went, oh damn it, it's gone. But like everything, like you said, like that happens in normal life. If you're too slow, you lose.
Even quicker than that. So it's really important to be able to, two things. First of all, it's important to realize that things go fast, but it's also important not to be pushed when things are moving fast, so that you jump into something because you think that you are running out of time or you're running out of whatever, that you jump into something that you haven't evaluated. So you need to take the time to be able to have a look at something. But if you have evaluated and you know that it's a good deal, you don't want to miss out on it after you've already figured out that it's a really good thing to be in.
Yeah.
And the next thing that I noticed was that you sold your shares and then went straight to big deals. So obviously you were able to generate some good cash, and then you were able to start looking for a good deal, which is a really good strategy. And I hope everybody else noticed that as well. So what I did. If you were paying very good attention, you'd be able to see what I was doing and keeping an eye on what I was doing as well. I've noticed very often that most people don't really pay attention to what I'm doing, even though I am going to be very often a very good example of what you could be following and asking me questions about and evaluating the things that I am doing.
Yeah.
Then the last thing that I wrote down that I noticed was that you did some really good evaluations. So you had some really solid reasoning for why you bought certain things or why you weren't buying certain things. I really loved that negative property. That second one that popped up where you said, how long are we going to be playing for? What is the possibility that we're going to either be continuing the game or not continuing the game? And you based your decision on that. So even though life doesn't work that way, life doesn't finish at a certain point and then you restart the week after. But obviously, you want to play the game based on the rules of the context of where you're playing. So in life, you want to make sure that you understand what is happening in life and how life works. In the game, you want to understand the rules of the game and what the constraints are of the game and how you can get around that. So it's really good if you can change the context and say, okay, so I want to win the game. I want to get really good at the game. I want to make a good decision on this property. The game is going to end at a certain point. Are we going to continue the game or are we not? And am I going to use my money on that deal, or am I going to save my money for something else that's going to be better in the long term based on how the game is going to continue? So that was really good. So
yeah. Thank you.
Is there anything that you'd like to add? Anything else you noticed yourself on top of what I've already shared?
I guess the thing that I learned many years ago when I first started playing the board game after I'd read the books was, and listening, I guess, to podcasts with Rob Kiyosaki, was remember not to dwell on the story. You want to understand what the deal is, how much money you're going to make. The story is the white noise, distraction. Get away from it. Look straight to the look straight for cash, but that makes you realize what deal's good and what deal's not good. That's how I was making my decision.
Absolutely. So thanks for coming, and thank you for sharing your thoughts as well. Then, Joseph, so I noticed that you were a little bit quieter. I was very curious about that first deal. You had the 10 acres worth of land, and you didn't end up buying it. So I would love to know your thoughts around why you decided not to buy that one.
I think probably just sort of early blues with those things. I was just trying to suss the game out first. I was getting my bearings around it, to be honest. It took me like a few rounds. I wasn't, so I think when I went in for the shares, I realized after I bought it that I probably shouldn't have done that, because my net position meant that I should have focused more on cash flow initially, or some means of generating more cash flow so that I could have actually had a sort of better, as in I would have had more capital to put down a down payment towards a property. But I didn't. I had my money held elsewhere, which wasn't short term. So I realized that I obviously couldn't have sold, because then I would have been paying the full price of it on capital gains.
Yes.
So I didn't do that. But in general, I just felt with a lot of the sort of the opportunities that came my way, maybe that was a result of the fact that I had my money held where I shouldn't have, but I couldn't approach it. So the lesson for me there being, you sort of, I guess, have to really know what your objectives are before you sort of go out and start investing, which I didn't really do.
Absolutely. So very good insight. I'm glad that you thought that through. With regards to that first land, it was challenging because it was at the very, very beginning. And I'm glad that you have thought it through and that you actually had a reason for why you didn't, as opposed to just, I don't have the money, I'm not even going to consider it. So that was really good. Then the next thing I noticed that you had a big deal that you picked up. So you picked up a card for over 6,000, even though you had probably not that much money, because I think it was only the second or third card that you picked up, and the down payment was 20,000. So I'm very curious as to why you decided to pick up that big deal card.
Which one was this one?
So this was about the second or third card you picked up. I'm not sure if you accidentally hit the wrong button, but you hit the...
I probably did, because honestly, I'm not fully aware of that one, to be honest. Sorry, I'm not too aware of that one. I might have pressed it by mistake.
Everybody playing.
Sorry, one sec.
No, it's all good. So there was a deal that you picked up. So I wouldn't be able to show you in the history either, because you ended up not buying it. But it had a down payment of 20,000.
Yep.
A very big deal that there is no way you would have been able to afford that early. But so I'm glad that you realized that you didn't notice that even. So it's very important to pay attention and focus in on the game, so that you know each deal that's happened and that you've been able to evaluate it. So yes, I noticed that you picked up a very, very big deal at one point, very early in. Then the other thing that I wrote down was that you were very happy with your payday. I know a lot of people who just want to buy deals and then they are very sad about getting paydays. And there's an interesting phenomenon when people are upset about babies, upset about paydays. They tend to only get paydays and only get babies throughout the game. Not exclusively, but they get relatively more than everybody else. So being happy with a payday is good, because it allows you to actually get more opportunities than only getting paydays and not being able to actually use that money for deals, which very often happens when people are really sad about getting a payday, which always confuses me, because...
Why would you be upset about it?
Funny. Sorry, what was that, Brett?
I said, why would you be upset about a payday?
People playing often think, I need to buy deals. So when the payday comes, their automatic reaction is, oh, no deal. I'm really upset.
I suppose that was the case because of the fact that I just needed to see sort of my net cash position improve, which was probably the issue, that I never grew from there, because I wasn't acquiring properties that were able to give me that sort of improvement in the cash flow. So I suppose that that was so it sort of was one step forward. But then when you sort of, if you haven't invested in other means to generate passive income and you downsize twice, then obviously, well, that's the result of that situation.
Yes. No, that makes sense. That's completely fine. But I was happy to see that you were happy with your payday. So I just wanted to share around that and what I've noticed, what happens between people who are happy and who are not so happy. Then I was also really happy to see that you wanted to buy the last property that came up. So it showed you were more open and you'd started to let go of your concerns a little bit, and you were happy to purchase the last property, and you started having more of, I am happy to give things a go. So that was really good. And you got downsized twice. This was a little bit sadder, that you got downsized twice, and the second time you also weren't very prepared, which is similar to Tanya, where both of you got downsized twice. And even though you got hit quite hard the first time, especially Tanya got hit extremely hard the first time, that when it happened the second time, you unfortunately were still both in a very similar position. So there's a very important lesson in there to make sure that you are able to work on preparing as much as possible. But again, it's much better to experience it here in the game than it is to do that in life.
In real life, that's right. Yeah.
Especially with what some people have gone through with everything that's been happening with the pandemic and everything else. Some people are in extremely bad financial situations right now because they had not prepared. Is there anything else you'd like to quickly share, Joseph, before I also have an evaluation of Tanya?
No, I just think the idea is to, at least for me, from this first time playing, is that I feel I've got a better idea as to how I'm looking at my finances going into each round, as opposed to just objectively looking at each pop-up on your round and evaluating it. You know what I mean? Yes. It's just a blind evaluation on the share price. Is the market down? Is it up? How much net cash flow are you getting from the property, your return on investment? So I think I've got a slightly better picture on that now, and the importance of needing to plan that. Otherwise, you're just going to be in that situation where you're downsized and then, your finances are messed up and you can't invest in anything.
Yay, good learning. Very good. Awesome. Okay. Tanya.
Yeah.
You had some really good questions. So you asked about the lower down payment. You asked questions about how many different things worked, which was really good. And I know that it was also valuable for everybody else. Very often we have the same kind of questions and somebody might not have thought about asking or thinks they know and hasn't asked. So that was really good. I hope you got a better insight into how a lower down payment can work. Again, it's going to depend on a number of different factors, and it's not something that you will be able to get just like that, or that you'll be able to implement immediately when you start investing. It will take time and effort to be able to get to the point where you're even allowed to have that conversation. Well, you can always ask, but where the bank will actually be willing to have that conversation. But it's worth something, or it's worth having a look at and understanding and learning more about, so that you can start heading in that direction and say, that's something that I can see there's an advantage to. So if I learn more about it, I might be able to learn how I can get to the point where I'm allowed to do that. So that was really good. Then you ended up a little bit broke, was the word that you used. And I wanted to ask you to evaluate yourself on what you think happened and what you would do differently next time.
Okay, so my expenses, although I had a good salary, my expenses were way too high. Like, I was on 13,000, but my expenses were like 9,000. So literally, I wasn't really having enough money for me to put aside and save. So I guess that I have to review at my lifestyle, being a doctor. So and my expenses. And look, sometimes like in real life, like, you know, when you're not working, you know, I guess that you're more conscious of your money because you know that you ended up with $2.95 before you get that your next pay. And when you have larger amounts of money, like I think you mentioned before, we don't make the time of, you know, what we're thinking is, oh, 13,000, but we don't really think of how much is going out, how many times we're going out and spending money, when we're buying things, you know, that we don't need. I have a lot of shoes that I only wear the one pair of shoes the 8 days of the week. You know what I mean? And I'm not getting caught up with, I'm going to purchase it because it's a sale. Do you actually need it or you don't when you have a closet full of clothing? So changing your mind setting and what's important and what's not and where you're spending your money. So that will allow me to, you know, maybe have an offshore account where I can automatically put that as a saving, like, you know what I mean, that $100, and then having a think of, okay, sorry,
Cryptos.
well, I don't understand about that, so, you know, maybe I should get that. So the other thing was, like, you know what I mean, the decision of purchasing that, what was it, I don't know, that property. Yep. And thinking of the, okay, you know, someone said before, oh, I have to go and think, how am I going to get that money? And then obviously I know that we eat out at least once a week. So, you know, and that's an average of, you know, 75 to up to 100, depending on how expensive you want to go. So, you know, maybe cutting down on that expense.
That was a really good start, that one.
Yeah, look, this is an issue that I have at home because we're 4 different people here and the children don't eat what we eat. And, you know, we often, you know, there's food, but I have an 18-year-old who is like, oh, there's not food. I mean, there is food. It's like there is not food that he is willing to eat because he doesn't know, you know, the cost of life or, you know, how hard you have to you know, to work for. Unfortunately, no matter how much you advise them and want them to guide it, because I told him, come, sit, join, you know, just watch. And of course he was here 5 minutes and then he left. You know, he's not gonna get into that until he has made his own mistakes and he is in a place where he is accountable for his actions.
So my thinking might be good to go on a survival course with them, and then they'll very quickly learn eating anything is better than going hungry.
Look, I don't. He overeats. Every money that he gets, he overeats. He gets sucked into the whole overeats is having free delivery, so he feels like I must spend. I must, you know, do take out because I'm saving on the delivery. I'm like, it doesn't, like, you know what I mean? It's probably already there.
That course that I'm making for those 2 girls, we might need to see if we can get him in there as well at some point then.
Yeah, that will be good because I tried to get the 2 boys. The 6-year-old will probably join, but he will talk about whatever he.
I just have to quickly jump in. I'm in the middle of a gym, so I have to go. It's closing. So,
okay.
Lovely to meet you all, but I'm going to say goodbye.
Take care.
I can't wait to the next one. Are you doing it weekly?
So we're going to start doing it weekly. I need to organize the beginners and advanced, and then I'll have a chat to you at some point about which one you'd like to be in. I think I know which one you fit in, though.
Wonderful.
Okay, good to meet you, Brett.
You too.
Don't get locked in the gym.
Exactly. Thanks, guys.
Bye, Brett.
Take care.
Bye.
So some really good insights from you, Tanya. So I'd say you played a little bit cautious, as you usually do. Lots of really good questions, some really good evaluation and thinking about that negative property. And yeah, probably be careful of downsizing in future a little bit because yes, you weren't prepared the second time, and it probably also set you back a little bit. I'll challenge you a little bit on the income though, because your income was 13,000. You were paying, I think, what was it, 9,000, later on almost 10,000 in expenses. But compare that to me, I was only earning 1,600. So you were still earning 3,000. So you had much more cash flow than I did. So it doesn't really matter which profession you are. There are still ways to be able to capitalize on it. But obviously, if you're going to be a little bit more cautious, it will make it a little bit more challenging. So something to have a think about for next time, to maybe see if you can push a little bit past your cautiousness in order to be able to see what you can do and do different strategies to see what will happen.
And this is what I was asking you. How did you come up with that decisioning or reasoning? Because although I played the game before, I'm not like, I haven't continued like you. I'm like off with other things, and my field is more like in counseling, not in the numbers one. So I'm guessing I will be definitely putting beginners because I want to know again from scratch, I guess.
Yes.
In order to be able to make those decisions. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be able to, to do it, but, just getting everything together again. Because, yeah, I'm thinking this is how much I have and this is how much the expenses. So I'm not having the right way of thinking, like, you know what I mean? In your position, yes, you're having less income, but you have you're strategizing, it's not about the income, it's how I spend the money or how I make the deals that will capitalize my decisions.
That's a very good insight. And so it will be good for you, I think, to be able to keep playing and testing some things out that you may not have done before. That will teach you what's working and what's not working. You can ask me questions around why certain things didn't work and why some did. I don't want to give you my exact strategies or give you whether something is a good deal or not, because that's not going to help you. Plus, it's going to depend on the circumstances. But we can definitely have a talk about why I decide certain things and how I calculate certain things. And then that can help you to also see if you can start implementing and learning from how I've evaluated, and you can get better at evaluating, and how I calculated. And then when you have the knowledge on how to do those calculations, you'll also be able to do those calculations a little bit quicker. Rome wasn't built in a day, and being able to do the calculations as quickly as I do is also not something that you'll pick up in one day. It's something that obviously I have built up over time. I've been doing it for a very, very long time. You've done it a little bit. You've been away for a while. You've come back. So it just takes time again to be able to get back into the routine. And I don't think you've fully got into the routine of doing the calculations. So I might need to create a cheat sheet of calculations. Cash flow calculation cheat sheet. There we go. So I always think of interesting ideas as we are going. Yep. So I can have a look at what are the most important calculations that you need to be able to do, and create a bit of a cheat sheet so that we can show you how to do that to make it easier to evaluate. But first, I want you to do it without it first, just to see how you go, and so you can see where it's going right and where it's going wrong. And then as you start being able to see that, then I can provide you with the ways in which you do the calculations, so that you can take those learnings and see that there's an importance to being able to do the calculations, rather than me giving you the calculations and you not understanding how important they are.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, there's one more thing that I'd like to very quickly show you, and that is inside the reports, and at the bottom in tax, and then I'll let you all go. So
reports, tax.
Yes, and then I cheated a little bit because I went out and played while you were having your last turns so that I'd actually tick over more than 12 months, because I don't think everybody ticked over 12 months, but I pushed myself over the 12 months so that I'd be able to actually produce this report. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to. So I'm going to hit show. So just like in real life, you will have a tax statement for the 12 months that you have played, and it will have income, so your salary and wages, in my case as well, some real estate revenue for the year, which will give me my total income. I also had a total taxable gain of 39,000, and then I had so I had bank interest on the loan for the 3-2 house, and I had bank interest on the loan for the apartment complex, which are deductions. So my total deductions was taken off my total income, which included that capital gain. So I have my total taxable income, and I have the tax rate that I need to pay, which is automatically calculated, and I can show you next time how that is calculated with another tool that we have here. And then we have total tax paid, and I have the tax refund based on the fact that I paid more in tax throughout the year, and so I ended up getting a certain amount back. So when you're paying a high amount of tax, sometimes it will feel very painful, but at the end of the year, you get your tax refund, and it actually makes up for the fact that you feel as if you are paying exorbitant amounts of tax.
Yep.
So there were lots of other things that I wanted to share, but we only have 3 hours. I was going to do an exercise as well, but we got to the game. I was wondering whether anybody else was going to join. I need to figure out how to actually do an education section at the beginning, because I'm used to doing that more at the end. So I will get to that. I will figure all of that out. But I think that everybody still learned a lot, even though I didn't have an education section. There were lots of really good questions, lots of good learnings, lots of things that didn't go completely according to plan, that allowed you to see where you need to pay attention, how to do certain calculations, which calculations are important. And again, this is just a game that reflects real life, that allows you to make mistakes, test different things without losing anything financially, so that when you in real life, you're going to make less mistakes. You might still make some, but you'll make less mistakes than if you have not played at all.
That's right. Yeah.
So I am going to say a very big thank you for joining. Tanya, it's always very good to see you, and thank you for continuing to come. And I am very glad that you want to keep learning as a beginner in order to be able to keep asking those questions and really implement. I would love to take your children and show them the same things that I am going to be teaching these 2 wonderful young ladies as well, who also want to make sure that they start life off on the right foot before they get a little bit older, and life has already thrown them lots of different things. And I've got a fly in the room, as you can tell. And Joseph, it's also amazing having met you. I'm looking forward to staying in touch with you as well and learning more about what you do, and showing you other things to also help you implement the game, not just on a higher level, but also in real life itself.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Definitely let me know, and I will let Steven know that you're running that, and we can work, to see if he wants to join. We'll try to make it compulsory.
And I'm also going to quickly pass to Mladen, because I know Mladen would also like to share some things, because he's also been watching the game intently. To you, Mladen.
All right. I mean, you said everything very good. It was a really good game. Very good comments. I would just remind you that Rich Dad Company has a whole bunch of books for men, for women. Kim Kiyosaki wrote beautiful 2 books, A Rich Woman, which is counterpart of Rich Dad, and The Rising Time. So it could be for women especially, and also for kids, Rich Dad for teenagers and so on. So that could be a good thing to look for it and reach that company. And there are some blogs that these two guys and the advisors did. So it'll be good you can join, or you can look at that. But particularly, comment, Tanya, you made today about having another job. So probably a good book would be to look, if you haven't read it, Cashflow Quadrant, which explains mindset of each letters E, S, B, and I from Quadrant. So where you want to be, and is a second job solution or something else. And of course, Manu, I think you can just mention what's happening every morning on Monday to Friday.
Yes. So it's actually very fitting because it took a while, but I managed to get a copy of Rich Dad, Poor Dad in book form again for the first time. And so every morning, Sydney time, 8 a.m., I actually do some reading for about 10 minutes from the book and give some commentary and talk about examples, how you can implement some of the things from the book. I need to get a copy of Cashflow Quadrant soon so that I can continue the series in that sense. And if you are not able to join, I also have it on our YouTube channel, which is the Passive Cashflow Club on YouTube. And so you can see the past recordings of the Rich Dad Poor Dad reading, and we have some other videos which are being made at the moment, and my VA Ethel is busily working on those so that there are more educational content videos that talk about some of the things that you've learned throughout the game, and the notes that I take and the lessons that you have been learning. I'm actually turning those into videos as well, so that you don't just learn them here, but that more people can learn from the things that you've been learning here as well.
Yeah.
Are you able to send those links? Like, you know how you say you have those newsletters? So perhaps just adding into your newsletter some resources, you know, for like a resources section, so we can have a look. And then it's in your new, I mean, I've seen it, but I haven't read it. I'm kind of behind on my reading my emails. Is there a section with like, you know, your YouTube and your reading or links to that?
So on Facebook and different other places, Ethel will always put the links to everything. I'll make sure that she does that for more things if they are missing from certain places. But if you'd like the details, feel free to get in touch, and I can get her to also send them to you directly on top of where she adds them onto those different newsletters and other places.
Yeah, I haven't seen any. I've seen the successful, what's your business called?
So Business Team 6.
Yeah, but I haven't seen any notifications for the readings on Facebook.
So there is a Zoom link very often that she puts. I'll double check, but I know that she has put them on mostly. Maybe you just haven't seen them. But
I haven't. Maybe I haven't followed that page. That could be.
Yes, if you'd like to, I can also get her to send you separately, just in case.
Yeah,
but
that'll be great.
make sure that she's also added them everywhere else.
Yeah, that'll be great. So I can just follow that.
Okay, consider that done.
Well, thank you so much to everyone, including Joseph, for putting up with my questions.
No, all good. We're learning too, so great.
Yes, definitely worth the time to take some time to question, evaluate, and answer questions. And it's good for everybody, because who knows what we will pick up from something that somebody else has learned. And I might share something that somebody who understands the topic might not have thought of, or a different perspective.
Yeah, that's true.
All righty. Thank you.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
I'm just writing down what I need to do based on that conversation. And then I am looking forward to seeing you all next time. Thank you for joining. Have a great day. And my apologies, we went over slightly, but I think we discussed some good things at the end anyhow.
So for the next session, you'll send the links so we can buy the tickets?
Yes.
Or do we automatically?
So Ethel always sends through the information. So anybody that's already been, she always sends through an invitation so that you can purchase tickets.
Yeah, that's how I've been purchasing them. But I wasn't sure if you purchased them before or just wait for that invite.
So you can wait for the invite. However, I can ask Ethel to send it a little bit earlier. As soon as
no, it's fine. I just wanted to work out, if that was the right way of doing it. That's fine. When I get the invite, I can purchase them. Yeah.
Yes, when she's created the event, she always sends out the invites.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Hope you all have a nice evening. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you for joining, and enjoy the rest of your night, and see you all soon.